Please leave a yes in the thank you, Bong. Um, Please, if you can hear me clearly, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Do leave a yes in the chat so I know that you can hear me clearly. All right, thank you, Montang. Thank you, Aimwa. Thank you, Nengi. So, good evening, everybody. I hope we're good today. Thank you so much for joining a 10Alytics Masterclass. It's a pleasure to always have you here. It's a day where we come to learn, and today we'll be learning something really specific. Okay, we'll get into it, but before we get into it, I'd like to make us feel comfortable. I'd like for us to also make this session really, really interactive. So if this is your first time joining us, I'd like to welcome you. Okay, if it's your first time joining us, please leave a one in the chat so we see you and we send you a gift for joining us. Please leave a one in the chat if this is your first time. Oh, Nana, welcome. You are very welcome to 10Alytics Masterclass. Montang, you're welcome as well. Who else is joining us for the first time? We have Omesiri, we have Oluwaseun Beryl, Daniel. Welcome to our masterclass. It's always a learning curve for us each time we get to have these masterclasses. And I promise you, it's going to be really interesting. You know what? Just get your notepad and pen, put them down because you'll be taking a lot out of today's session. All right. So I'd also like to know where you're joining us from. So I'm Priscilla, and I'll be your host for today. I'm joining you from Delta State, Nigeria. So if you don't mind, just let me know where you're joining in from, just your name and also where you are joining in. Okay, we have Nengi from Ireland. You're very welcome. Montang from Ghana. Nana, I can already guess you're in Ghana. Welcome. So who else? Michael. Okay, we have Kaz from New Jersey, Beryl from UK, Wamaka from Lagos. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to a 10Alytics Masterclass. So I'm going to share my screen so we can get right into it today. And as soon as you can see my screen, please just leave a yes for me. As soon as you can see my screen, I'll be sharing that right away. And as soon as you can see it, please leave a yes if you can see my screen. So, can anybody see my screen yet? Hello? I need to get feedback. I need to know if you can see my screen. So I'm sharing my screen, and right now you should be seeing how I secured a job after training with 10Alytics. Okay. All right. Okay, I know that you can see my screen now. So yes, this is basically one of 10Alytics masterclass, and today it's actually an alumni sharing session. So you get to hear ex-participants of 10Alytics come to talk to you about how they were able to secure jobs after training with us. All right. So they're training with 10Alytics, and for those of you just joining us, you might not know who we are and what to do. So I'm going to jump into that right away. Okay, sorry, give me a minute. Seem to be experiencing a lag. Can everybody still see my screen? Ubong, if you can see my screen, could you leave a yes? Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I'll share that again. And yeah. How about now? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Thank you so much. So I was saying, in today's session, you get to hear alumni of 10Alytics come talk you about how they were able to secure a job after training with us. But then who are we rather, excuse me. So we're a leading educational technology company, and our focus is on providing specialized training in technology skills. So if you're looking to get into tech, if you're looking to land a tech job and you don't know where to train, you don't know who's going to teach you, you don't know if you ought to go to a school or anything, that's where we come in. We're a leading educational technology company, and our focus is on lowering the entry barrier into tech, and also providing specialized training in technology skills. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, over 4 years, and over time, we've been able to help over 4,000 plus people land a role after getting into the classroom with us. So they were able to land their first tech job. So they didn't come from a background, from a tech background. It was their first time of interfacing with tech. It was their first time learning. And afterwards, after a period of time, they were able to get a job. They got a job across UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia. All right. So our commitment is actually to make the technology sector more accessible through premium experiential training in data analytics, business analysis, Scrum Master, cybersecurity, AI engineering as well. We're able to train you, by employing really experienced facilitators that have worked in global companies like Apple, Microsoft, McKinsey, Amazon, and they bring their wealth of experience into training you. They've worked, as data analysts, business analysts, as the case may be, and while training you, they're able to bring the wealth of experience just so that you're able to get value, from your investment in your future. Because you coming to train with analytics is actually an investment in your future, and we have to ensure that you get as much value as you can from that. So, like I said, today you would learn from ex-participants of 10Alytics about how they were able to get a job after training with us. And here's how the session is going to go. We're going to set your expectation for this session right away. The first thing we'll be doing, and we'll be jumping into that almost immediately, is you would hear from these participants, on how they were able to get a job after training with us. And after that, you will also get to understand the various in-demand tech career paths. There are a lot of tech career paths, but then which one is the best fit for you? Which one should you go for? You would learn that afterwards, and then would also talk to you about our upcoming cohorts, and you would see some other success stories. Okay, we're going to jump right into it, and the host for today's session, or the driver for today's session, is Chukwuemeka Ikpa. Chukwuemeka is actually a technology consultant with nearly a decade of expertise in governance, risk and compliance, and strategy consulting. As the CEO of 10Alytics, he has been able to guide over 870 people, with no tech career, with no prior tech background. He's been able to guide them to land their first tech jobs. He has diverse experience cutting across governance, risk, and compliance in banking, head of control in fintech, data analysis in fintech, and also business consulting in hospitality. He has worked across the financial services, capital markets, hospitality, and edtech sector. And if you'd like to connect with Chukwuemeka, please feel free. You can connect with him on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on Instagram as well. And then, yes, I would basically be your host for today's session. My name is Priscilla, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm a passionate educator and tech enthusiast with over 2 years of experience cutting across the blockchain technology and data analytics. Currently, I'm a data associate at 10Alytics, and my experience span across data and analytics for a fashion brand, crypto educator for a blockchain club, and a budding front-end engineer as well. So the tech space actually thrills me, and then I'm making sure that I'm getting the most of it. I've also helped onboard, over 500 people into tech successfully. So we're going to jump right into today's session. Remember, the first thing I said we'll be doing in today's session is you listen to our ex-participants talk to you about how they were able to secure a job after training with us. And we have people in the house today. So I'll stop sharing my screen right away just so that I can spotlight them. We have Vivian Ogwadima, and we also have Abigail Gaga. So Abigail is going to join us in about a minute from now. But right now we have Vivian already. Hello, Vivian. Can you hear me? Good evening. Hi, Vivian. If you can hear me, I can't hear you yet, and that's because you're still muted. But if you can hear me, could you unmute and also turn on your camera so we get to see your beautiful face, Vivian? Sorry, can everybody still hear me? If you can still hear me, please leave a one in the chat. I'm not sure Vivian can hear me. All right, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Wamaka. Hello, Vivian. If you're speaking, we cannot hear you yet. Okay, but yes, while we're waiting for Vivian to come on board, if you look at the chat, you would have seen an attendance form, for you to fill. So Filling the attendance form gives you access to the resources that will be used in today's session. We're going to be using a slide. We're also going to share the recording with you. And if you'd like to get the recording to listen to in some other time or to also share with somebody, all you have to do is just click on the attendance sheet and fill that, and you will be able to, you'll be notified as early as 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and you get access to the resources that was used for this session. So if you haven't done that already, please go ahead to fill the form. Meanwhile, if you have questions, if you have burning questions, if you've been looking to transition into tech, but you don't know what tech career paths to choose, for some of us, we actually feel like, am I even worth it? Am I fit? Will anybody consider me worth it? Will anybody entrust their company into my hand? If you've been feeling like that, this is actually the best session to alleviate those fears. So just take a minute, take down your questions, any question you have that you would want to ask, anything you would want the speakers to share with you tonight. Just write that down in a notepad and pen, and when it's time for a question and answer session, you would also get the chance to ask the question. All right. But while we're waiting for Vivian to come on board, I'd like to hear from you. Would you prefer a remote role, or an on-site role? Would you prefer to work in the comfort of your houses, or you would want to?
Vivian is here, just so you know.
All right. Hi, Vivian. Welcome. Okay, so we're going to get back to you. Let me just interact with the guys in the chat. So if you'd like a remote role, if you'd prefer a remote role, sit in the comfort of your house and work, deliver value, or you would want to go out there, you don't want to jump the bus or use your car every day to go to work, just leave that for me in the chat. So I can see Nengi. Nengi prefers a remote role. Yemisi also prefers a remote role. Do you know, like, this is 21st century now, and so people don't actually believe that they can actually land remote roles. I'm actually happy that most of us on the call actually think that we can land remote roles. And trust me, it's actually very interesting to wake up in the comfort of your house, work. You don't have to stress so much, okay? So Vivian is here with us, and we're going to start this session right away. Hello, Vivian. If you can hear me, could you say yeah, yeah, if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening, Vivian. Good to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks for asking. But we are yet to see your beautiful face. If you don't mind, please turn on your camera so that I have an accomplice. My video is turned on. I would like to have somebody else's video turned on. Hello, Vivian. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm okay, thanks.
All right, welcome. So we'll get started into the session right away, and first of all, I'd like you to share a bit about your background before joining 10Alytics and what motivated you to enroll in the program.
Okay. My background is in geosciences. I'm a geoscientist, a geologist, but of course now I'm a data scientist as well. I realized that in the field of geology, it's very difficult for you to, move up the ladder in your career. And I've been there for quite a while. And I just got to understand that data is the new oil. So my first instinct was to enroll in the data science program as regards to applying it to geosciences. But then when I enrolled in the program, I realized that data science could be applied in any industry. It can be applied in the bank, in the financial industry, in the engineering sector, oil industry sector, in the hospital, everywhere. And I said, why don't I just stick to this role? Because in geosciences, after I studied my data scientist, I realized that data science in geology pay way lower compared to when you're just a data scientist working in the financial institution or somewhere else in a remote role or on-site role. And I'm like, well, it's all about the money. I've got to pay the bills. And I said, I'm going to stick to this area of data science. Right now, I was actually in the training sector, in the academic sector as a data scientist that teaches, before I landed my first role in a bank, you know, where I get to do a lot of things, and it's quite interesting. So the reason why I transitioned into tech at first was because I wanted to apply it in geology. But then when I got in there, I realized that I could do a whole lot of things with data science, with data, and I could work anywhere in the world just within the comfort of my home. So I spoke to a couple of my friends, and then they came on board to 10Alytics, and 50% of them have actually landed their first. So
Wow,
it's
that's
quite interesting for
amazing.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting background. So you have a background in geosciences, and then you got into
Yeah.
analytics and did the data science course, and then you realized that you could actually apply data science to every sector, and you could work from anywhere. You could work anywhere from the comfort of your home. That's quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
Some persons on the call would actually feel like, oh, I don't have any background in tech whatsoever. In my undergraduate, I most likely did political sciences, and there's nothing related to tech whatsoever. So how? So guys, if you're here and you're listening to us, I'm sure that you're already getting the vibe. You know that with analytics, nothing is actually impossible. And then we're going to
Yeah.
get straight into the session tonight. So one other question that we're going to devour now is, how did you discover 10Alytics, and what convinced you that it was the right choice for your career path?
All right. The truth of the matter is, before I enrolled in analytics, I've tried to, go online to teach myself, Udemy, Coursera, but then it didn't feel so right. I had so many certifications from these online self-paced programs. But at the end of the day, I couldn't put it into action. I couldn't practice it as part of the lessons. And at the end of it, you get a certificate, but they don't really give you some real life experience, exercises, the assignments, most of them are just too easy that at the end of the day, you even become really skeptical about if you've acquired the real skills to do these things, right? On the job, if you can actually deliver. Huh? Talking about 10Alytics and the program, it's going to be a one-on-one section on the weekends, and there are some mentorship sessions as well during the week. And you get to do, I guess, 1 month internship or so. And I was like, why don't I just try this out? After all, I've been paying. Why don't I just, sacrifice this little token? I know in Nigeria it's quite a lot of money, but I tell you, the value you get for your money is way above what you're going to be paying for. So I decided to give it a try, and I enrolled to see if it's going to be something different from what I've been seeing in other online self-paced program. And I kid you not, from the very first day, from the very first day, we started having assignments, classworks, practicals, Excels, and all that. And I learned what I couldn't learn in 6 months under 1 month with analytics. And it is just straight up, you learn and then you practice. It is practical oriented. It's less of the theories, but the theories are going to be there, the fundamentals, the basics for you to understand the principles of what you're being taught. But then it's like 20% theory, 80% practical, such that the moment you get into your first role, you begin to deliver just like I did. So what motivated me was, what if Femina said, you can ask questions, you're going to be in a community where people come to ask questions, you can freely ask, and then you get answers. There are practical exercises, there are assignments. Most of the times they are graded, and then you participate in group and team presentations. You work together, you interact together. By the time I finished my program in Analytics, I was confident. I was talking to people in the interview as though I've been working for 3-4 years. And I mean, they believed me because with the real life projects and exercises, I was given brilliant examples and case studies. So it's really a good one. And I never regretted it one single day. So yeah, that's
Yes,
it for me.
absolutely. That's an interesting one there. You know, some people actually fall into the web of unending learning. So you could learn from YouTube, you could learn from Udemy course, but you just keep
Yeah.
on learning and learning and learning and learning. When it comes to real life application, you just realize that I don't know how to apply these things that I've learned. So remember when I was introducing 10 Analytics, I
True.
said we offer experiential training, our trainings are case study based, just so that when you get into real life situations and scenarios, you are able to apply those concepts that you've learned. It's more of practical for us. It's not just you coming to learn the theory. Thank you so much for that,
Sure.
Vivian. So did you believe that you could learn virtually? Before you got into analytics, did you feel like you could sit in front of the computer and learn virtually, stay committed to it, and even land a job in tech?
Well, I'm going to be very honest. The reason why I was able to complete the Udemy courses most of the time is because they are not so lengthy. Some of them will tell you 15 hours courses. Some will say 24 hours courses, and within 1 week or 1 month, I'm done with it. But when 10Alytics told us that for the data science, it's going to be 3 months and 1 month internship, 4 months, and I'm like, I don't think I can do this. But I was determined. I said, I just need to try. Let me just give it a trial. I never really believed that I could complete that program. But because of how interesting the training was, how interactive it was, your classmates, you have meetings, you have assignments, really case studies that really interest you, that you really want to know how this works. It's like they give you these assignments and you're eager to see if you can handle it because it's practical. It's like they stimulate you. 10Alytics stimulates you to be excited to do these things. And before you know what is happening, 3 months is gone, 2 months is gone,
Never
and
a
you've
dull moment.
graduated and you have all the skills you need, right? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, absolutely. I can hear you, Vivian. Can you hear me? Hello, Vivian.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can I go on?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, I can
Please
hear
go on.
you.
Okay, I
All
think
right.
yeah.
So you said something about so many persons learning from different places, YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, without practical experiences. I'm going to advise you guys to just, if you enroll in 10Alytics, if you enroll for 10Alytics program, just stick to it. 10Alytics will give you all the necessary tools you need to succeed in any role. You don't need any other extra stuff. Don't stress yourself. You don't need all the, I don't know how to put it, because that's one of the mistakes I actually was about to make before Efemina spoke to us in the introductory video when we started this program. Nobody said you shouldn't go to YouTube. Can you still hear me? I'm sorry. I'm seeing
Yes, please. I
internet
can hear you, Vivian. Although
disruption.
the network
All right.
bandwidth is low, but I can.
I Okay, cool. You can visit YouTube just to see if there's another method, or if you're hooked somewhere and you ask the question and your response didn't just come quickly like you wanted it to, you can just check it up on YouTube. But that doesn't mean you should distract yourself from the program in 10Alytics. Whatever is given to you is exactly what you need to excel. Nothing more, nothing less. Going outside of that to learn extra tools, extra softwares, extra machines that can be used in data engineering, financial modeling, data analytics, or probably data science is actually going to distract you from the real thing that you're supposed to be learning from 10Alytics. What I did was to focus, like I really focused full time. I mean, I graduated from 10Alytics in August, I guess, August, September 2023. And by 1st of March, I had landed my first role. I got accepted in 3 companies, and then I had to choose one for myself. I mean, I didn't need to learn something extra. I didn't.
You
So
know,
please,
Vivian, what you're
that
saying,
would be my advice and recommendations to you guys.
yeah, what you're saying right now, some people still find it hard to believe, you know, that you didn't need anything extra. You see there, if anybody has been able to break out of the feeling of, oh, I still need to do more, I still need to do extra without believing in themselves, you find yourself in a web, you know, in a very,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
crazy web that you just feel like I need to keep learning because I need to offer value. But that's not the case. Okay. With Analytics, what we're able to give to you is actually from experience. It's all you need to get a job, you know, get a job as a beginner,
yeah,
getting into tech without a background. Thank you so
yeah.
much for sharing that, Vivian. So we have our second speaker in the house, and that's Abigail. Hi, Abigail. Can you hear me? So I'd like to meet Abigail and then would continue with the questions. Hello, Abigail.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good to have you
Can you
here.
also see me?
Not yet. I can't see you just yet. And I think your
Is
camera
it
is still.
from me or from you?
I think your camera is still turned off, so I
Um,
can't see you just yet.
okay,
Okay, so we'll just give you a minute to sort that out, all right?
yeah.
And then we'll continue the questions with Vivian. Hello, Vivian. I can't see you anymore.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay. So yes, let's carry on. So an extra question, if you can still hear me. I can't see you, Vivian. But yeah, an extra
Okay,
question for you. What were your
okay.
main concerns or doubts before starting the training at Analytics? So you found an edtech, they promised you a lot of things. Did you just believe sine qua non, or you actually had doubts that you carried with you into the training?
Actually, to be honest, 10Alytics gave more than I could handle. It was intense. I mean, it was way more than I actually expected, you know? The lessons, the assignments, the classworks, and weekly mentorship sessions and Saturday compulsory live sessions. I mean, and the team work. Oh, come on. It was way more than I expected. And I had some problem with programming Python in data science and data analytics as well. I thought it's something that I couldn't handle. It's very complex and all that. But the way 10Alytics presented it from the very beginning, the fundamentals, how simple they made it look, it turned out to be quite very easy and interesting. I mean, I was building models, I was making predictions, and I'm like, am I really coding? Am I the one typing these codes? I never really believed I could do that. I was very skeptical about 10Alytics fulfilling their promises, you know,
Yeah.
and making things easy and we being able to get jobs. But I just took a leap of faith. I've been doing so many of it for a couple of months and I wasn't succeeding. I'm like, why don't I just give this a little bit of try since I'm going to have the opportunity to ask questions and interact with people. So I came on, including SQL. I tried to query sometimes. It was difficult, but with analytics, I mean, I had a layer of doubt, but one thing I would tell you is don't doubt anything. You're going to be the one who's going to try to run away. But if you really want to skate through and achieve what your main purpose of joining Analytic is, I'm going to encourage you to stay very strong and then push through because at the end of the day, it's going to be worth your while. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Vivian. Hello, Abigail.
So,
I can see you now.
hi,
Good
you
day.
can see me?
Yes, I can see you now. Good
Oh,
to have
wow.
you here. How are you
Okay.
doing?
I'm good, thank you. I thought I was battling with a lot of things. I was just start chatting one of you, like, walk me through my camera. I don't seem to see what is
We
going
can,
on or see myself or anything. Yeah, so good to be here. Hi, guys.
yeah, good to have you here, Abigail. So, we'll just ask you to share a bit about your background. First of
Mhm.
all, share a bit about your background before joining 10 Analytics and what motivated you into enrolling for a program with 10 Analytics.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. Okay, my background is kind of complicated. So is it okay if I make it like a story? You guys say we should tell a story all the time. Like
Yes, please.
everything is about story. So I am currently in Canada. I work with the government of Alberta. And yeah, this is better. And before I got to Canada, like back from Nigeria, I thought I was gonna come to Canada and I'm going to hit the six-figure, all the thoughts we have in Nigeria and all of that. It was crazy. And then a lot of my friends that are here, I call them and like, oh babes, have you gotten the job? I mean, you should get the job. I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't gotten, we're still trying and all of that. Like, maybe you're not trying enough and all that. So it was always like that until I came and I found myself in a situation where I almost could not explain what was going on with me. And so I tried to get a job. It was hard. It was difficult. Like the way people portray Canada from outside is totally different. Like when you are here, like on a scale of 1 to 10, three people could get it really soft, just like people speak about destiny and all of that. Some of us have to go through a lot of ways to get it right. So my background, so much so that the way I call people and I like, you are not getting the job. I'm like, well, maybe when you come, you're gonna get your own really fast. That was the beginning of my problem. When I came, I wasn't getting the job. It was so hard. Now I said I wasn't going to do the minimum wage job to support myself. Like I was coming from back home. I was I was an I was in a very good organization in Nigeria, and I feel like with that one I should come continue that way. Like I'm not going to go less and all of that. But that didn't happen. It was crazy. So I tried to get the big roles. It wasn't working. People say reduce your resume, a lot of things, it's too high, blah, 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 reduce. I reduced so much so that it was almost like I just have a secondary school
Wow.
certificate. That's all I got. Like the job wasn't coming. I was frustrated. Like I almost packed my things to say, I'm gonna go back to Nigeria. But somehow support of friends, people, and all of that. I am still here in Canada and I work with the government of Alberta. So before then, I was in the process of looking for a job because, man, you got to pay the bills. And the bills is not smiling on anyone. You get paid bills or you get kicked out. I wasn't going to get kicked out with 4 kids or with all the dreams, everything that we ever thought about Canada and all that. And so I had to do something. So that was when I realized I had skills. I became a care worker. I was in care job. You know how you say, yeah, you have been a care worker in Nigeria for like 10 years, or just so that you can get something to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Was it true? It's not true. But we got the job. I was a care worker. I guess what? At the same time, I was a janitor, like they call it janitor. Yeah, I was a cleaner. I
Wow.
clean bathroom.
Yeah,
I
of
clean,
course.
yeah. I was a cleaner. I clean bathroom. I clean toilets. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is me. Each time I'm working, cleaning became something joyful for me because it was paying the bills. I was cleaning
Yeah.
and I was doing care work. It was pretty tough, but you know, sometimes you need to go through that fire to come
Yeah.
to wherever it is,
Very
how
fine.
all the sayings go and all
Fact.
that. So,
Fact.
so yeah, I was cleaning with joy. So it got to me sometime I was cleaning and then supervisor came, don't, you cannot make up. Because when I clean, I just call my sisters and I put it on video call and I'm cleaning and we're smiling and they're like, wow. we can't believe from that position in Nigeria, you are now a cleaner. Yeah, that's what Canada makes you do. And so one time the supervisor told me, you know, you cannot clean, this is job. I said, wahala. Which kind of wahala is this? You cannot be making inside toilets. Say, I cannot. They say, I cannot make call. You know, you cannot make call when you are working. Yeah, we understand that. Unlike Nigeria, you know, everywhere you are, you make your calls and all of that. This one said, I cannot make call. Like, we're going to kick your ass. We're going to kick you out and all of that. You cannot make call. I'm like, oh my God. That was when I realized, like, no, this is not me. No, I shouldn't settle for this because everything was not going the way I wanted it to go. I need to do something. I've always heard about business analysts and all of that. And they say, you know, when you're a business analyst, you every day you have to write report of like 20 pages, 80 pages, 100 pages. I'm like, oh, how will I write them? What will I write inside the report?
What am
100
I
pages. Like,
reporting?
yeah, like what am I reporting? Like it's too much. What am I going to write? And I was doing some research here and there. I now started checking a little bit about, you know, business analysts and all of that. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And then one day I was just sitting, and then one of my friends, still in Nigeria and still hasn't done anything with 10Alytics yet. And then he sent me, say, I think you should see this. I think you might do it. I'm like, yeah, that's business analyst. I don't think it's for me. I think it's for all those, you
You
know,
write report
bookworms.
a lot.
Yeah, like I think it's just for all those bookworms, you know, those best students in class, those, you know, with the high grades and all that. No, it's not for me, please. I can't do it because I can't make an 80-page report. What am I going to write in the report? So like, oh, I think they teach people. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me try. And then I'm always somebody that always has the ginger. Like if you are doing it, if you are diving in, I don't dive with one leg to go and test the water. I dive in. If I die, I die. You know, that
Go
kind of a thing.
in.
Yeah. So don't follow my, like, it might not work for you, but well, that's me. So and I saw the advert, and thankfully they just put, I didn't know what I was putting myself into or anything. And when they said pay, you could pay in 3 installments, 2, 4, I said no, I pay all at the same time. Like if I don't pay, I could pay half and like I'm not doing it again. I beg, it's too stressful. I can't do it, you know. So I
Yeah.
paid all. So paying all also made me feel like you can't let that money just go like that. Like, no, you shouldn't. So I started the training. I was doing 3 things at the same time. My cleaning job, my care work was a lot. And then I was learning, like I was really learning a lot. So I won't lie, some of the class, I wasn't really into some of all the class because I mean, somebody got to pay the bills, you know? So I wasn't present in all the classes of the practical, but it was a very strong and very supportive class and very good as well. I learned a lot. That was when I learned what was Jira. What is Jira, for Christ's sake? What is Jira? So like Jira, okay, Power BI, what is that? Like it's so, you know,
Sounding so strange.
no, it was so strange. Everything was so strange. Like we're just used to our Excel, copy paste, you know, all those regular Excel. You don't dance around all those things and all that. So they were now teaching Power BI. I was so happy. It was so interesting. It was so motivating. Like for you to, oh wow, I created a dashboard. Like this is me. Like you already feel like guru inside your head, kind of thing. And then I guess and then the interview session happened, and then they set me up to be interviewed. Like, no way, you can't interview me. Like, I'm so gonna go 100%. So at that point, even when I was learning, it doesn't seem like it's sinking. I was like, okay, let's just be doing it. Let's just be doing it. All the work and everything they give, we're trying our best and all of that. And then they revamped my resume and all of what. I'm speaking too much, right? Like I've spoken more than what you have asked me already. This should
No,
come
no,
in
no.
other
Please go
questions, I
ahead.
think. I think should
Please
have
go
come in
ahead.
other questions. So they did the resume revamping and all that. I remember one time I refused to do the interview date. I had to lie, my camera, my children. I had to lie about something because I wasn't gonna let myself put on the spot. Like over 100 people are listening. Like, you interview me, don't be me. It's not going to work with me. So I tactically refused. But I saw how the interview was done and all that. And then when they said start applying for the business analyst role, and I was applying, and I'm like getting calls. I'm getting calls, and I'm even negotiating like, hey, look at me earning $15 per hour and $16 per hour, and I'm negotiating $75 per hour. Am I not crazy? Do you understand
You
what it
mind?
means? Like, from $15, you are negotiating $75 an hour. Like, okay. So a lot of that happened. And then, yeah, here we are today. I don't want to talk too much on. No, I know I've already spoken too much, but next question.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
that. That was quite interesting. Just one more question, and then, did you ever think that you could learn virtually? Did you think that, oh, I want to sit in front of a computer and learn? Did you? Was it something you thought that you could do, or it was scary for you? It was just almost impossible before you got into it.
So generally, I think the virtual thing is trained to an average Nigerian. Learning virtually is like 100% strange. And I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, why would you put me in front of a computer? I'm supposed to be in class with you, learning, you writing on the board, drawing the diagram, doing all the things that you need to do. Like, how are you going to teach me with computer? It sounded strange, and I'm like, but it's something I was willing to open my mind on, to be able to get what I need to get. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get this job, and I didn't think I was going to be able to learn virtually. Sounded strange, but well, I'm glad I did take the chance, and it doesn't even make a difference. Like, here I am, we do a lot of meetings every day. You never get to see anyone. 100%. You do it in your home, in your cubicle at work, or in your office. You don't get to see anyone one-on-one. So if anyone is thinking it's not going to work virtually, I think it's good for you to train, because you're going to have a lot of meetings. Like, in 80% of your job is going to be meeting, and it's going to be virtual most of the
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I'm glad I got the experience from 10Alytics, but I'm also advancing. We keep learning every day, and then, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, thank you for sharing that, Abigail. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. So yes, a question for you, Vivian. Can you describe a particularly challenging case study that you worked on during your program, and how it prepared you for your current role?
Okay. Um, I think I'm going to use the Excel as one example, and I think that also works with the business intelligence tool Tableau. Yeah, it was actually because in my current role, I also do reporting most of the times. After analyzing, I have to report as well. And the tool I use mostly here is Tableau. I use a lot of Excel and SQL as well. So after the class,
Oh, I think we cannot hear Vivian anymore. Hi, Vivian. Hello, Abigail. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
All right. So while we're waiting for Vivian to get sorted, I think our network bandwidth is really, really low. And while we're waiting for her to get sorted, I'll just ask you, Abigail, how did the case study based approach at analytics help you understand real world scenarios in your field?
So even right now, a lot of time when I am confused, I don't know what to do, I go back to one of our videos, and I get, okay, I don't know their names, Efemina, Suleiman, I don't know if it's the same
I
person.
guess I then.
Yeah, so I go back to the video and I check what I need to check, and then it gives me a clue what I need to do. So it's really like 100% helpful. I had no idea anything about Power BI or Jira, was no single idea what it was. But working with 10Alytics really opened my mind. Like, it actually, like, a lot of time, it's not enough for us to come talk about all these things here. You have to be willing as a person. You have to be willing to learn, because I mean, I could stay here and talk about this thing forever.
Yeah.
But then if you feel you're not going to do it, then that's it. So I feel the first point of where you need to know is to know that if it's human being that makes the system, then it's human being that is going to operate the system. And then
Absolutely.
everybody learns at every point, and we got a lot of resources. Like I remember I was having interview before I had interview, I was contacting all the officials of the 10Alytics. And then there's always one thing that stood out for me each time. It's maybe if I say it's gonna just help someone when he says everyone is a business analyst, and then I'm like, okay. So and then he said a carpenter is a business analyst. You always hear when you hear the word business analyst, it just comes to your head, oh, they're wearing suits, they're typing computer, they are doing like, those software, the computer that has to.
Yeah.
So
You're just
that
moving
was
your
that's what
hands and you're getting things done.
yeah, like that's what the way it works with this film. God, I don't watch films a lot. I know the film, but I can't even remember anymore.
I think
With
I
all
can
the
visualize it in my head.
yeah, like all the one that they do like not evil things, but like a lot of magic. Like they just touch the wall and everything is
Yeah.
going like that's how you just think when you do, Matrix. Yeah, that's it. That's how it is. The Matrix. Somebody said Matrix. Yes. You just feel like this is Matrix. Business analyst, data analyst is a Matrix kind of thing. No, it's not really. Really, it's not. It's not that hard. Don't let the name scare you. It's something that we can do. If you can wake up in the morning and get your kids set for school, do their lunch, prepare a birthday party, do a lot of then trust me, 110% when I say you are going to be like a great, great, great business analyst with the right training. I had
Yeah.
no idea what to train about. And I'm like, okay, when I go for interview and I come back and I know I'm going to get this job. I said a lot. And then the mail comes up, we are sorry. Oh my God. We are sorry it became regular. It was so hard. It
Yeah.
was so tough. But when I got this job, trust me, I didn't even prepare because I was ready for the we are sorry email. So I didn't even bother myself to go, let me prepare for interview. Like it was just like I was just having a conversation with them. And then boom, I saw, the
Yeah.
rest is story. So I'm currently 7 months on my current role. Guess
Yeah.
what? I've done interview. Sometimes you just check yourself and feel like, oh, let me see if I can still nail an interview. And I'm doing like a lot of interview and I'm getting the job. Oh, we are offering you that. Oh, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't
That's
want to come and all that.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Thank,
it.
yeah, thank you for sharing that, Abigail. Hi, Vivian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Apologies for
No,
the
no
last
problem.
interruption.
No problem. It's completely fine. So, one question to you. Can you describe the
Okay.
moment you realized that you were job ready? So, after learning, at what point did you realize that, oh, I can hit the ground running. I can start applying to jobs.
Well, honestly, right after my Excel class, because Excel was the first uh, course that was taught to us, and
Yeah.
a lot of I was seeing a lot of Excel positions, open positions, and I just wanted to start with anyone at all, right? So because when we started this program, we were told that we need to have online presence, we need to have GitHub, we
Yeah.
need to have LinkedIn, and we need to post all the projects that we've handled. So I try to post most of my projects, like the dashboards, and then after each of the classes, I just go online to share what I learned today. And then I realized I was job ready after my Excel course, but I didn't go to apply. What I
Yeah.
did was to start drafting my CV gradually, even though I've been working as a geoscientist. What I did was to mute that. It's there in my CV, but I muted it. You're only going to see my qualification, like academic qualifications and my previous job
Yeah.
at the bottom of my CV. So what I did was to bring the Excel first at the very top and told them what I've done, created dashboard, did that, conducted analysis, made predictions, built model, things like that. Yeah, so I realized then, but that was because 10Alytics told us that we could do it. And it was evident after the Excel class that so much was learned from the Excel class that you're almost confident that if you get any role as an Excel specialist or Excel analyst, you're actually going to deliver. But I waited, actually. I waited on till we entered Python for data analysis. So after Python for data analysis, I started to put up applications for job interviews. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
All right, you see that CV part, most people get it confused. They just think that they can apply to different jobs with one CV. That's not the case, you know. You're
No,
just literally
no, you
shooting
can't.
yourself. You're shooting yourself in the
No,
foot if you ever try
you
that.
apply to each job. Yeah, one
You
job, different CV. Any job you
absolutely
apply to, you have to tailor the role in the job specifications to match with what your CV is
have
going to
it.
show them. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Thank you for that, Vivian. Abigail, that question also goes to you. What point did you realize that you were job ready? Oh, I can apply to a job, you know, in Canada.
Yeah, so it was at the point where I had like some percentage of certainty that I am able to create like a dashboard by myself using Power BI. And I was playing around it a lot. And then that was when I started applying for roles and also Jira. Where I work now, we use a lot of Jira. And then the funny part is nobody's going to tell you this is Jira, we are working, this is Jira, you have to do it. It just comes just natural. It's an app we use for this or we use for that. So, but for the Excel, because I work with some data analysts, like the Power BI, it just when I learned about how to manipulate with the Power BI, I realized like no, to a very large extent, this is really good for me. And then that was when I started applying for roles. And then funny enough, when I started applying for roles, the jobs comes like a lot of time when I do interview, they say, do you have experience with the Power BI, with the Jira and all of that? So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really helpful. And then especially when they checked my resume and they revamped where you put a lot of information, like you've been in an organization for 10 years, you've been an administrative officer, you've been a customer service officer, you've been a project coordinator, you've been and then you want to put everything on the resume. It
Yeah.
was when Suleiman said, no, I mean, you don't have to put everything. You can choose like 3 roles and well, you know you could do it, you know you got the skills. So choose 3 roles or 2 roles, depending on how you want your resume to be and how catchy you want it to be. Because I also got to learn that the recruiter just takes like a minute to go through your resume, maximum maybe 2 minutes. I mean, and you are not the
Yeah.
only one applying for the role. So when I started doing the job specific application, it was hard. Like I feel like applying for the job is harder than the job itself because you have to change your
Mhm.
resume, you have to do a new cover letter, you have to do a lot of things. So now, thanks to the AI tools that some of us use, I don't know if everyone uses AI, it really helps you.
Yeah.
Like it just revamps your resume, revamps your cover letter, and then it gets you the right contact. All you need is that call to come for an interview, and then that's where you're gonna display your skills and all of that. But if you keep using one resume to applying for the whole job, trust me, you're going to get rejected for the whole job you have applied for. So when I knew like
Yeah.
my job had to be um specific, any job and advert I feel like I want to apply, it has to be specific. It has to be specific. Like, okay, now I could bring, if I say I'm applying for an administrative officer and maybe is the one early in my career, maybe 10 years ago, I bring it forward and like from so time to so time, I was an administrative officer. And
Yeah.
then, it just shines, it gets catchy and like, oh, okay, this is the candidates and all of that. So after then, I was now getting a lot of interviews and all that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So after you finally decided that okay, it is time, I need to start applying to jobs, Abigail. When you looked at the job description of this your current role, how did you feel? Did you feel like I'm going to get this?
It was scary. Trust me, I just said, let me give it a shot. All the job roles I have seen are scary. It makes you feel, I can't do this. I
Yeah.
can't do this. And then guess what? Funny enough, I am overqualified for this role. I just got to find out because I am here. So I just feel like I'm now overqualified for this role. But from the outside, because they have these funny big names they put on roles. It's not just like our own,
Exactly.
you're
Very
a tax
scary.
officer. Yeah, you're a tax officer, you're a customer service officer. No, they carry big names and attach to roles. And then when you see it, fear will not even let you to apply.
That's why,
Yeah,
yeah.
so one, you have to get over the fact that now, trust me, sometimes I see a role, I definitely know like this is way beyond you. But when you check who is on that role, because I am here, and then you check how many years of experience they got, and then you feel, oh wow. So if I was here early in my career and I started career, I would have been on that role. So
Yeah.
applying for a role, I see a big name, director, and applying. What that happens is, we are sorry email, which is, we are sorry email is so normal.
That's the
It's
worst that
so
could
fine. Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So please don't let the job scare you. They have no they have scary, funny names that can just sway you off your feet, put you off balance, and you feel, no, I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
What I always say, especially, I know we have other country people here, an average Nigerian that got a degree or just a diploma, trust me, is able to do something here, and you'll be amazed at how you will excel here.
Yeah,
Nigerians,
absolutely.
oh no, we get them for our blood. You don't even have to
Day.
stress yourself for them to just tell you, okay, you do this and you do that, and then you are good. Trust me, all the
Yeah.
Nigerians here, nobody they fall our hands. Like
That's
everyone is so good
that's
at what they do.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, they are always so good at what they do. Like a lot of organizations, you see Nigerians and you'll be smiling. Like with the government of Alberta now, I'm beginning to see a lot of, may not be Nigerian, but a lot of, I'm beginning to see like our number, people of color, our number is increasing,
That's
which
good.
means
That's
something.
good.
It only means we are good, because if we are not good, they're not going to be hiring you.
Yeah.
So
Fact.
trust me, just going to school under the condition of Nigeria is enough for you to be a business analyst with the right training.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Abigail. Vivian, I'd also like you to answer the question. After looking at the job description of your current role, how did you feel? Did you think, oh, I'm capable, I can do this?
Okay. The first job I applied to and got offered the position was for investment analyst, right? I didn't think I could handle it, but I saw the analytical part, interpretation, data analysis, creating of dashboard, critical analysis. And then I saw the investment part of it, financial reports, fact sheet evaluation. I'm like, well, I don't know. Since I could do these three stuff, let me just apply. And then I
Yeah.
applied. And then after the first interview, they sent me a bunch of financial fact sheets to tell lots of things about finances, evaluate the company. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was like 15. So my husband was like, "Oh, you're a data analyst." I said, "Yes, but I told these guys I'm not a financial analyst, I'm not an investment analyst." He said, "Well, then you're an analyst. Figure it out." And then what I did was to go through that sheet in and out. I still didn't understand anything. So what I did was to go to YouTube, and then I figured it's just analysis. It's numbers. Look at the tables, look at the charts, say what you just interpret what you've seen. So I just went there and then used the analytical part in me to run some analysis, look at the charts, look at the graphs, and then started making my evaluation and writing them up. And then when I sent it out, 2 days later, they offered me the job. I'm like, is this
Oh,
a joke?
wow.
Okay, I said, wow, fine. But I was actually interviewing for other roles. The second role I interviewed with PwC, it was for advisory officer, junior advisory officer. And I
Okay.
got that role too. So the last one was for data and business analyst. I went for that one because it paid more, the coverage is higher, the benefits and all that. So when I saw that one, it was like they just brought, when I saw, before I applied to the job, I looked at the functions, the roles, the functions, and then I looked at my CV, the one I prepared right after I finished my program from 10Alytics. It was as if they went to my CV, lifted up everything from my CV, and then included it as the function for the job that was advertised. I'm like, okay, well,
Okay.
let's see. And then I applied and I got that position too. So I picked it. Sometimes, just like what uh, Abigail said, don't think it is too much or that you can't handle it. Okay? When you
Yeah.
enter the job role looks more scary than the job itself. When you're in the role itself, you figure out that it's actually easy. 10Alytic will make it very difficult for you, so much so that when you get this job, you would realize that you're
Fine.
really good and you have
Piece
everything it
of
takes to
cake.
excel in that role.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you feel you don't, and all you need to do is a little bit of research. And with the experience you have, it will be easy for you to just catch up. All thanks to the practical experience that 10Alytics brings to each program. Without the practical exercises, life case studies, and all that, it would have been really difficult. You getting the job will even be very difficult for you in the first place. But yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Vivian. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for that. So, I think we're almost getting to the end of this session. So, one question I would ask Abigail is, what does a typical day in your life as a business analyst for the government of Alberta looks like? What do you do
Well,
from day to
yeah,
day?
you have no idea if I tell you every day I do just a lot of meetings and a lot of reports. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know if it's different for the government or with a private organization.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, I don't know if some of my friends are here because I know I've had some of my friends here and they said they're in the training. So I don't know if they are part of it or not. And I tell them, you know what, I think this is small for me. That's what I told them. They said, what do you mean? I say, I feel this is small. I could do more. I
Yeah.
know this is small. So um, I'm grateful I got something that is paying the bills. But
Mm-hmm.
when you are doing something and when you don't believe in your ability and then for whatever it is, you come to realize, oh my God, like I can do this. Like 80% of my time on this role is meetings. And then when you give meeting, you give reports. So a lot of time you don't even get to interact with stakeholder. So it's not
Yeah.
like when we're doing the training, you just, oh, we're going to meet a stakeholder. Like, okay, okay, what do you want? Let's type it. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. Organization already have a policy, has guidelines, has things that
Yeah.
you need to do. So a lot of our interaction, trust me, is even via the email. And it's not like it's not a email, oh, they got okay, sorry. Email, like from morning till night, you're sending email. No. Like I didn't send any email today.
Mm-hmm.
Like you send the email only when you need to send the email. They make the job so easy for you. You begin to question like, am I in the right place? Because in
Yeah.
this part of the country, I don't know, I've not been a business analyst in Nigeria. I don't know how it's going to be, or maybe a private organization. But
Yeah.
for this one, I feel, um, I feel like I could do more. And now that is the reason why sometimes I now go for the big roles, like out of fun, out of whatever it is, I just go, okay, let me apply for this role. And then trust me, I've applied for some roles that I got the job that I said, no,
Yeah.
that's not what I want. I don't want it anymore. Like, so interview for me now feels just like a chat. I don't think it's so much. I don't stress it like you go, you have to cram this, you have to cram that. Like when you do the job, when you're on the job or when you do the training, it becomes part of you. I remember before my interviews, I wanted to nail it. Like I wanted to sound like a business analyst. How do I do it? So I tell myself, okay, you know what? Because your coconut head could be dumb, like you could be so dumb if you don't know all these
Uh-huh.
things. What I did, because I don't know Power BI, I don't know a lot of, the application and the software they were using. So what I told myself, for you to speak like a business analyst, to a certain extent, you have to speak like one. So the little secret I did for myself, which I think helped me, was that I learned all the terminologies of business analysts. So when I was doing the interview, I made sure I used the stakeholder, the gap analysis, all those nice names of business analysts. I made deliberate effort to use those names so that you would think I'm a business analyst. And I think it was, because on this role, I have been able to interview people coming for a role, people that report to me. Now, another thing I want you people to remember is, like I said, applying for a role feels so difficult and hard. I never thought I would never in my life. I studied accounting first degree, management second degree. I would never apply for a financial analyst role. Never. It just feels like, no, this is too much. I can't do this. But guess what? The financial analyst currently reports to me. Whatever
Wow.
work he does, he gives to me, and I check, oh, okay, we need to do this and do that. So it's not that hard. Don't let the name scare you. Anyway,
Yeah,
apply like it's your father's company that is going to carry you. So yeah.
absolutely. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
Thank you
one
for
of it is getting to know, use the terminologies a lot at that time. I made it a point of view. Even when I speak to my friends, it's in my head. I don't necessarily have to tell them this is what I do, but I deliberately inculcate the habit of using the terminologies of a business analyst, which I
yeah.
think helped my interview. Now,
Thank you.
when I interview people on a job and I see them do, oh, okay, I was in that position.
Been there, done that.
Think I've done that. I know what you're going through. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine. We're all gonna be fine. Last, we strong. We go do okay. As a Nigerian, as a black
absolutely.
person, trust me, we are strong.
Yeah, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that with us, Abigail. Yeah, same goes for you, Vivian. What does a typical day in your current job looks like?
Okay. Well, I think my role is a bit, should I say, different from Abigail's own, probably because I'm both data analyst and business analyst. I do a lot of reporting. There are lots of daily, weekly, quarterly, and yearly reports. So depending on which one is to be sent out. And then my major job is to interact with stakeholders. Yeah, a whole lot of them. So many of them. And most of the time, I go to them or they come to me to tell me that they have some issues as the data person in the department, if I could help. And I'm like, by all means. Sometimes they will just tell you that they need a
Bring it
dashboard
on.
to see how the employees under them are functioning, to see the workload that each person is handling so that they will better allocate job to each person. Because sometimes you see that so many persons have free times in their hands while others are overworking. Sometimes you see somebody will tell you that they just need to be able to analyze this data. It's scattered, they want it cleaned and in an Excel format that they can view it clearly. Sometimes somebody just comes to you to say, I have a problem with my Power BI or with my Tableau. I want
Yeah.
to update it. Could you please help me update it using this data? Or could you create something different? Okay, as the data person, I interact with stakeholders every single day. They bring their problem, but I kid you not, there is nothing these guys can bring to you as a graduate of 10Alytics that you can't handle,
Absolutely.
right? There are lots of meetings for me. Most of the times the meeting I have is to, talk to the stakeholder I'm working on his or her project to see if I've actually met what they want me to do or probably show them the progress of my job. Sometimes the project that they want me to handle take like 1 week, 2 weeks, or 1 month, sometimes several months. So each week I have meetings with them to tell them what I've done, where I'm at, and if there is something they would want me to add or remove. I have a lot of meetings with stakeholders. Sometimes the meeting I have is with my boss, progress reports, or with some other interns that I'm actually looking after to see what they themselves are handling. And then, yeah, emails, a lot of email, because we use database here. We have a huge database, but I don't have access to the database because the mother company is very skeptical. It's based in Switzerland, so they don't want everybody, you know, prying into the database because of security reasons. So I get most of these data that I'm going to work on the report on via email. Sometimes I get to tell them that this is not the data. As a data analyst, you're being given this data. You will definitely know if there's something missing, or if you need more information for you to finish your analysis. So you get back to the person, please, could you provide me with this information? I need this data to be able to analyze and assess this and make my recommendations. Sometimes they just come to, most of the departments come to me to see if there is a way I can make predictions about what can happen or how their department is going to function, or the amount of revenue that they are going to generate in the next 1, 2, or 3 years, because, you know, it's a bank, so they actually work on the amount of money they get to make from their customers or clients or investors. So that's basically what I do on a day-to-day basis. Nothing much.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So there's a question for you here in the chat, Vivian, and that's from Nini. She's asking, or they are asking, did you do the data
Okay.
analytics did you do the data analytics training before doing data science training with analytics? Did you get that, Vivian?
Yeah, if I did the data analysis training before the data science, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here is the thing. People differ, all right? For me, I just wanted to dive into everything because I felt the data science program has to go through the data analytics before it gets to the data science. But the data analytics program has its own package. There are lots of things in it that as a data scientist, you don't get to experience. It's just cut short, and then they focus more on the data science part of it. If what you want to do is really just the data science, where you get to predict a lot of things, build models, analyze models, update models, you know, run your hyperparameter, whatever, dive into data science. But that's for people who really have already gone through data analytics before, maybe had some experience in data analysis, okay? If you want me to advise you, if you know that you cannot handle data science at first, there are a bunch of data analytics program out there. Jobs are there. I mean, I'm a data scientist, but I'm working as a data analyst. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that is because I honed my skills further while working on my first job as a data analyst too. But if you're the type that is not so sure, for this person I'm asking this question now, I would advise you to go for data analysis first. After that, if you feel that you want to continue, then you go into data science. And if data science is your final destination and you're asking this question, then I will advise you to go first to data analytics program. After that, then you go into the data science program so that you will optimize everything at once. Because I remember there were some things we were like asking them to give us, that we want to learn this, want to learn that, you know, as a data scientist, but they said, you're a data scientist, you have your function. The data analyst has to clean the data, work on the data, then give it to you as a data scientist. So you don't need all that, okay?
Yeah.
So if you want somebody who is doing the background job for you and then give you data to work with for further model generation and optimization, then you can go for data science. 10Alytics is just doing we, the data scientists, a favor by giving us the basic fundamentals of data analysis so that we'll have an overview of what data is before diving deep into data science, okay? So just think of what you want.
Yeah.
Both are actually big programs that you're going to benefit from all of them. If you can't handle the pressure of data science right now, start from data analytics, then graduate into data science. I think it was because I had a bunch of Udemy and Coursera courses earlier that I just wanted to go into data science and see what is there. Yeah, I think that is just the answer I'm going to give you.
All right. Thank you so much, Vivian, for that answer. So we're going to, end this session right about now. There's some questions in the chat, and guys, I can see your questions. Not to worry. Just stay up until the end of the session, and you'll get answers to all of your questions. We'll take our time to answer all of your questions. But then, I think I saw Karimat. That was supposed to be our third speaker. But Vivian, if you could just what advice would you give to anybody looking to start? You could also just take out 5 minutes to leave some responses to the questions in the
Okay.
chat that you can answer. Okay. But then I think we need to jump into the other half of the session, and our facilitator, our driver for that session is here. Thank you so much, Abigail. Thank you, Vivian. It was a pleasure doing this with you. If you have questions, guys, please leave them in the chat and we'll take your questions from there. Hello, Chukwemeka.
Hi, Priscilla. Thank you so much. Hi, Vivian. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Hi, Abigail. Thank you as well for being with us. So we are going to dive right into this other segment for you to understand the best tech career pathway that will land you the job the fastest. But before we continue, I would love to know if you are still with us till this very moment. So if you are still with us, if you've been following all the discussions till right now, just drop a 1 in the chat box, okay? Just drop a 1 in chat box so that we know that you are still with us till this very moment. Okay, fantastic. I can see a couple of ones right here. Can see a couple of ones. Fantastic. It means that we have so many people that are still following us. Okay, Priscilla, I would have loved for you to ask me questions too, because I'm a past student of 10Alytics. So like Abigail and Vivian rightly mentioned, sometimes the job always looks as if it's too big for you. In all sincerity, I transitioned through 10Alytics, that should be 4 years plus ago. And right now, I'm back in 10Alytics as the CEO of 10Alytics. So this is the beauty that tech always offers to you. All right, so like I mentioned, we are going to talk about the best tech career pathways that will land you the job the fastest and make sure that you remain relevant in the ecosystem in the coming years. And how do we do this every year? So there's what we call the Future of Jobs reports. So at the end of each year, we review this exact data called Future of Jobs reports. And it's always released by the World Economic Forum. And from there, we always see the courses that are going to grow and the courses that are going to decline. And that's what determines the courses that we're going to offer the next year. Okay, so what this means is that by the ending of this year, we'll also be looking at the World Economic Forum report to ascertain the jobs that are going to be in demand, and then to now determine the routes that we're going to go for next year. And after we've reviewed these exact reports, you're going to see the jobs on the left-hand side, the side that will have the red color, are the jobs that are going to grow, the jobs that are going to be in high demand in the coming years. While the ones on the right-hand side are the jobs that are going to decline in the coming years. So if you work with me, you're going to see number 1 there is AI machine learning specialist, right? And what this simply means is that AI is in high demand. There is nothing you are doing today that there is no infusion of AI, okay? And we try to also put this inside all the courses that everyone is learning with us here at 10Alytics, all right? So you also see business intelligence analyst, information security analyst, data analysts and scientists, big data specialists, data engineers, database architect, process automation specialists. So just work with me. I'm still going to explain each of these courses and what they do. But just take note of the ones that are highlighted in red color, because I'm going to tell you the reason why. If you look at the jobs on the right-hand side, you are going to see jobs that are going to decline. All right, you're going to see jobs like the chemical processing plant operators. We are going to see sales and marketing professionals, because today, sales and marketing is also automated. People run ads these days, and it's now bringing in the leads that they need, okay? But the one that caught my attention the most is product managers, right? If you look there, you're going to see product managers, that it's among the jobs that are going to decline. And that's because lots of things that product managers do is now AI automated, right? And it's also already integrated into what project managers are doing. And that's because project managers are working with agile methodologies, Scrum Masters, Kanban principles, Lean principles to make things work iteratively. So if you continue looking at the left-hand side, you're also going to see financial analyst is going to grow because someone needs to make sense of the financial data. You're also going to see supply chain and logistic analyst is going to grow. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that by the ending of this session, you get the recording. You can click here to get the full reports and be able to go through it yourself. You're now going to see the jobs that are going to grow and jobs that are going to decline. But why we analyze this report is to be able to give you jobs that will definitely give you three things. Okay, number one is ease of learning. Number two is ease of transitioning. And number three is high rewarding salary. Okay, so of all the jobs that are going to grow and be in demand in the coming years, we only chose 8 of them. And all those 8 courses are the ones that met these 3 criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high rewarding salaries. So amongst the jobs that you grow, you also see other jobs there, but for you to be able to get into that exact domain, it will take you a couple of years to be in that exact place. All right. So what we do is to be able to give you the ones that will help you transition easily, help you learn easily, and also give you high return on the investment. And those jobs are: 1, the business analyst; number 2, the data analyst; number 3, the data scientist; number 4, the data engineer; number 5, cybersecurity analyst; number 6, the APM Scrum Master, that's Agile Project Manager; and then number 7, HR analyst; and number 8, financial analyst. So by now, have you made a choice of where you want to transition through? So have you already decided the aspect of tech that you love to transition from? So if you've decided, I would love to see it in the chat box also. Where do you want to transition through? Can I see you put it in the chat box, okay? Can I see, okay, data analyst, I can see Nazifi. Hope I pronounced that correctly, said data analyst. Okay, I can see a whole lot of others. Say data analyst. That means everyone wants to transition through data analyst. That's from Chinom. So Richard, data analyst, fantastic. Data analyst, they are winning tonight. They are winning tonight. Can see Salamatu, data analyst, Montang, cybersecurity, Damilola, financial analyst. Nengi, what's the difference between the two? Fantastic, Nengi. I'm also still going to explain this. So why I always love to see people's decision first is because some people already understand where they want to transition through. But the next step of things I'm going to explain now is to explain what each of them entails, so that if you've not selected what you want to do yet, it's going to help you. Okay, so for the people that have already selected areas they want to transition through, there are 2 things that is very, very important for you to be able to land a job. Okay, that Abigail got a job with the government of Alberta, and Vivian also got several job offers that she now selected the best one, is because they have 2 things. Number 1 is the technical skill, and number 2 is the employability skill. Okay, and what exactly is the technical skill? These are you learning the necessary tools, having the necessary project-based experience to perform on the job. And the other side, which is employability skills, now speaks to your ability to present yourself. How do you sell yourself? The things that you've learned, were you able to transfer them in your own CV? So these are things that will definitely help you to land a job, which means number 1 is technical skill, and number 2 is employability skill. And I'm just going to show us one portfolio of a past data analyst to tell you things that will help you bring out your skills. How do you show evidence of this exact skill? So I'm going to click on the data analyst portfolio here. So once you are learning, you must have a portfolio. Okay, it is very, very important for you to have a portfolio because that is the evidence of your learning. So this is portfolio of one of our past students, a data analyst, and you can see right here that she was able to work at Deep Care Hospital, right? And she has evidence of job done. So once you click here, you are going to see what she did, right? So this is a tableau work that she did in the health sector. you can see the insight she was able to bring out from that exact analysis, right? So it's coming up. You'd obviously see that she has the skill relating to Tableau. Because what happens most times is that you may be able to have all this skill, but you've not also built your own portfolio to show this is evidence of my skill. And as a tech person, it is very, very necessary that you have an evidence to show your skill. So if you look at this, you're going to see the ER hospital analysis done by our data analyst. And that simply means that this person has experience in the health sector, right? So going back to her own portfolio again, we are going to see she has a work that she did in Redux Airline aviation industry. Okay, so Redux Airline with Excel simply is the aviation industry. And once you click on it, you will see the job that she did using Excel to bring out insights from that exact data. Moving on, you also see things that she did for Express Tech food delivery, and this is in the supply chain industry. If you click on it also, you will see what she was able to come up with relating to the supply chain industry. And this is the beauty of tech ecosystem, right? This is the beauty of it. Once you are able to show evidence of work done, definitely it means that you have that skill and experience. Okay, so this exact person, within the time frame of 4 months that she trained with us, she has experience in the health sector. Count with me: 1, health sector; 2, aviation industry; 3, express tech, FMCG, not FMCG, supply chain industry rather. This is Nestle product, which is FMCG. Number 5, Zenith Electronics, which is technology firm. So within that space of 5 months, she was able to work in 5 different sectors of the economy. And these are things that will present you, make you different from every other person that is coming for that exact job. Okay. And how we make this happen is because we also play in the consulting phase. So what we do is that once people are studying with us, we also give them the portfolios of things we are working with. If we receive a contractual role from any contractor, we also give it to our students. So this simply means that you are a consultant working with analytics. So you can comfortably speak that while you were consulting with analytics, you worked in so and so industry, you helped so and so companies set up their business, it helps to bring out insights from so and so data. And this is how you are able to present yourself as an improved individual for that exact role. And what are the basic 6 steps that you can use to get your journey started? All right. So number 1 is for you to identify your target role. So for everyone that I've already said, I want to be a data scientist, I want to be a data analyst, I want to be a cybersecurity analyst, it simply means that you have ticked that first criteria. You've identified your own target role. Now, what is the next thing for you? For you to educate yourself. And how do you do that? By ensuring you join a learning partner, and that is where we come in for you. And after doing that exact number 2 step, number 3 is to gain project-based experience. Okay, gain project-based experience. You heard Abigail clear. Abigail said that she never worked as a business analyst in Nigeria, but while she was training with us, she gained all those project-based experience that would make her to perform on the role. And these are things that you are also going to put in your own portfolio to present yourself as an approved person for that exact role. Now, after this first 3 levels, the next one is for you to develop employability skills. For you to develop employability skills by learning how to tailor your CV to the job that you are applying to. Okay. Number 5 is for you to network. Also, the beauty of communities like this is that because you have people in Canada, people in US, people in UK, people in Nigeria, people in Ghana, once any role comes out, there has been an instance where a particular student applied for a role, she got that role, and then she also got other several offers. What they do at that instance is to ask the recruiter, please, can I recommend someone that is also qualified for this exact role? And at that instance, they simply recommend one of their classmates for the exact role because they know, oh, all of us learn the same thing, who have the same knowledge, definitely she can perform. And the last step is for you to also have qualified mentors. Okay, for you to have qualified mentors. some of us struggle to enter into the tech ecosystem because we never had a mentor. If anything comes out, we are learning. MongoDB is out, we rush and learn it. Looker is out, we rush and learn it. There's no structured learning path. Nobody's telling us this is what you need to know. This is what you need to learn at this exact point. All right. So this 6 step, once you are able to follow it from number 1 to the last level, there's an assured interview invitation waiting for you in the end. So remember, the first step is for you to identify your target role. So if you've not identified yet, I will explain all the courses so that you make your own choice. Number 2, if you've already identified your own target role, is for you to enroll with the learning partner like us so that you have to gain the project-based experience to build up your portfolio. And the rest fully is on the employability services, which I will still talk to you about. So how can you get started in any of these career paths? How can you get started in any of these career paths? So talking about business analysis. So someone asks, what's the difference between these two things, business analysis and data analysis? So a business analyst is someone that serves as a bridge between the technical team and the non-technical team. So this exact person is interacting with the stakeholders, CEOs, CFOs, going for meetings, understanding what they want, and is now interacting with the technical guys, the developers, the analysts, telling them, okay, this is the message from the non-technical guys. And how they do this is by ensuring effective communication and understanding of the requirements. Okay, and the key learning things you are going to take out from it is, I'm going to start from number 2, which is process mapping. What exactly is process mapping? For instance, you've been in the banking industry and you notice that there's always a queue in the banking hall. How do we process map that exact instance to make it better? Right. So before now in the banking industry in Nigeria, once you walk into the man trap door, you are seeing the queue right there. You queue up, you get to the teller points, you pick a form, you go to the desk, fill that exact form, come back and queue up again and perform your transaction. But business analysts looked at that exact process and said, the customer touch points in this exact journey is too much. How do we reduce it? Maybe a customer before now, once they go to the bank, they spend 30 minutes. How do we reduce it to 5 minutes? All right. So what they did is to, once you are walking into the banking hall, then you're instantly seeing the form box. So either you're picking the form to perform your transaction, or you're seeing someone standing at that exact door asking you, what do you want to do? And once you pick the form, you are filling it, queuing up, and you're performing your transaction. This is process mapping. First of all, identify all the touch points that exist in that exact business, and then ask the questions of, how do we make the process better? Number 3 thing you are going to be learning is project initiation planning, because you are going to be in lots of meetings. Remember what Abigail said? You're going to be in lots of meetings of things that needs to be done, and you're going to be taking notes because you need to pass it to technical guys. You need to understand the requirements. That is what you are going to be doing. Of course, you also learn Agile and Scrum for projects. So Agile and Scrum for projects is basically an aspect of project management that deals with iterative working. We are working with Agile methodologies. You know, under project management, we'll have one, waterfall, and we have the Agile. Waterfall is like the traditional means of project management, while Agile is like the modern means. You also learn software development lifecycle, requirements fundamentals, elicitation method, stakeholder analysis, and of course, ChatGPT for business analysis. Remember, I skipped number 1, which is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right. But as a business analyst, you are also going to learn these tools. You are going to learn Excel, you're going to learn Power BI, and you're going to learn SQL. And what this means is that you can comfortably also work as a business data analyst, right? You can work as a business data analyst because Excel full is for analytics, Power BI for analytics, and SQL for the same thing. Now, what's your learning timeline? As a business analyst, you're going to learn for 4 months with us, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 2 months, and then you intern with us for 2 months, building a web application development project. So we are going to be working on this with the Scrum Masters. You're going to be working on this with the software developer. You're going to be working on it with the stakeholders for you to understand what it takes to build a web application development project. And the class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and in the evening time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or in West African time. And then on Sunday, it also holds by 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time, and then 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. West African time. The tools you're going to be learning basically is Excel, SQL, Power BI, Lucidchart for your process mapping, Draw.io for your process mapping, Jira for your project management, and of course, Trello and ChatGPT. Okay, so moving on, who is a data analyst? So data analysts are people that make sense of the data, right? So data analysts, we make sense of the data. For instance, on this call, let's assume we had 100 participants that joined, okay? A data analyst is going to come on to say, okay, analyze this report of our attendance sheets. And the person is looking at, okay, we have 100 people that joined. We noticed that 50 people joined from UK, 20 joined from Africa, 10 joined from US, the rest joined from the other parts of the world. And he's going to ask himself, why is this like this? Okay, why is this like this? He's now going to dive deeper to get all that data that the company has to understand the relationship between the two things. He might look at maybe the financial data or the marketing data, and he's going to notice from the marketing spend that analytics spends 80% of their ad in UK. And that simply means that we are getting more people joining from UK. So it simply means if you want to get more people to join from Canada, you also need to push your marketing ads into the Canadian company, right? So what this simply means is that the data analyst is answering two basic questions: what happened and why it happened. And that is descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics, answering the question of what happened and why did it happen. Now, how do you get yourself to answer all these questions? The first thing you will learn is problem solving, because as a data analyst, the company wants you to solve a problem. They don't want you to come in and be building amazing dashboard, be building fantastic dashboard to mesmerize them. They want you to solve a problem. So we are going to first of all walk you through the problem solving mechanics that exist. After that, you now get to learn Excel for analytics. How do you use Excel to perform different functions? How do you use Excel to build your pivot table? How do you use Excel to build your own dashboard? After which you now learn SQL, structured query language. For companies that have large database, that you have need to spool the data, okay? You have need to spool the data first and then analyze it. You need to learn this language to talk to the database. And that is what we're going to put you through. And then you'll also learn Power BI and SQL and Tableau for visualization and analytics. And what this means is that because Excel has limitations, right? Excel has limitations. The number of rows in Excel is roughly 1,081,000. So for someone that has a larger data set, it means that he needs to make use of a platform that can accommodate all those. And that is where Power BI and Tableau comes in. We're going to walk you all through this as well. And you will learn the data storytelling, also learn the ChatGPT for analytics, and of course, Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. Your learning timeline is for 4 months, where you learn in the classroom for 3 months, and you will intern with us for 1 month. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you get what we call the Watch Me Do It video. So these are short bite video that you can watch to introduce you to deeper concepts. All right, so the next one is the data scientist. Who is the data scientist? So these are people that tell the future. I remember when Vivian was speaking, Vivian said something like, some people come to her to tell, okay, what is going to happen with respect to this exact trend that we are in. And what it means is that because the data analyst is looking at predictive analytics, all right? That is what you are basically based in. You are looking at predictive analytics. How do you tell people what is going to happen? How do you forecast? And these are things you will learn in the class: statistics, forecasting and predictive analytics, Tableau for data analytics, and then of course, SQL. And also you learn Python programming. How do you write your basic syntax? How do you write your function and your modules? You are going to be learning this. And then you learn your exploratory data analytics, then your machine learning. Okay, your machine learning. How do you talk about supervised learning and unsupervised learning before you now move into computer vision, basically talking about image identification and object identification? These are things that you are going to be learning. So if you are someone that is also tilted towards the coding aspect of analytics, you should be looking at data science, because there you will definitely learn Python that is you are going to be using for analysis. And also you learn ChatGPT for coding, and also Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The class timeline is 4 months or so. You learn massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 1 month. The class holds every Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and the evening class it holds 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you also get the Watch Me Do It videos, which are short bite videos that introduce you to deeper concept as well. Then we also have the data engineers. Who are these guys? So these are people that serve as the plumbers in the construction company. So those guys that connect different pipes, the shower, the water system, the sink, and everything, and channel it to the septic tank. These are what data engineers serve as in the data ecosystem. So what they do is they connect several pipelines and push it to database and make the database available for the analyst to work with. And what you are going to be learning basically is introduction to data engineering. What are the different data architecture? How do you understand the data lifecycle management? Because you need to be able to build data from beginning to the end. Also, we learn SQL, structured query language. But in this case, you are the one putting in the data for others to analyze, okay? Because once you perform the number 5 thing, which is ETL, extract, transform, load, you are loading the data to a database and making it available for the analyst to work with. And also, you're going to be learning the Python programming, Linux operating system, and like I mentioned, ETL pipelines, which is extract, transform, and load. You'll be learning all these things as well. Then when you now want to automate your reports that you want possibly by 1 a.m. each day, you want for all the sales reports of the previous day to be sent to the sales team. You make use of Apache Spark and Apache Airflow to make these things happen. You also learn how you leverage Amazon Web Services for cloud engineering, and also version control, and of course, ChatGPT for data engineers. So the learning timeline for a data engineer is for 5 months, right? Where you learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 2 months. So the class holds every Saturday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., okay? 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. rather. So it's every Saturday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., where you learn visibly in the classroom. And then on Sundays, you have your Watch Me Do It videos. So on Sundays, you have your Watch Me Do It video, where you also watch the short bites video that introduce you to deeper concepts. Right, moving on, you have these guys, the financial analysts and the HR analysts. Okay, we have the financial analysts and the HR analysts. So who are the financial analysts and HR analysts? Okay, financial analysts, these are people that analyze the financial data of the company to make sense of it. And all companies want to be able to know, are we making profits or are we making loss? So which means you have to build your financial model for them to make sense of all this. You have to take into cognizance the CapEx, which is capital expenditure, the OpEx, which is operating expenditure, to know how the health of the company is. Why the HR analysts? They are people that make sense of the people data. The employees that we have in the company, how are they performing? What's their performance evaluation like? What's their are they looking to leave the company, or are they looking to stay in the company? All right. So basically, you are going to be learning the same things that a data analyst will learn. Right? The first 4 aspects, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, is the same thing. But why a data analyst is going deeper into Tableau and using all the other tools to analyze data, a financial analyst is now streamlining himself to accounting fundamentals, moving on to things like financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity analysis, and of course, ChatGPT for finance guys. The HR person is now moving also to HR analytics and performance evaluation. If you join a company that does not have a HRMS platform, how do you use Excel to build your performance evaluation dashboard for the entire company? You also learn your HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, building your case and creating action, and of course, ChatGPT also for HR analysts. The learning timeline for these is also for 4 months. You learn it massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us working on other projects for 1 month. The class holds every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then in the evening by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then after that, on Sundays, you get your short bite videos, which is your watch me do it video that introduces you to other concepts for you to prepare yourself for the class next time. So the other guys is the Agile Project Managers, APM, the Scrum Masters, okay? So these are guys that serve as the coach and facilitators for any structural team or technical team. And what it means is that when people come to me and say, hi, Chukwemeka, I want to transition to tech, and I do not want to write any single line of code. I don't want to do anything that has to do with mathematics. This is the best way to transition. It doesn't mean that it is easy. It just means that it is the tech area that it is no code area. You are not writing any single line of code, but you are going to perform as the leader of the Scrum team. Okay, and what it entails is that you need to understand project management end to end. You need to understand what the skills and communication pattern for a project manager. You need to understand the Agile and Scrum. And of course, you need to understand the Scrum framework fully. Because when you're working with your Jira, how do you come up with your product backlog? For instance, your company wants to build a mobile app, and the first thing they want to build is, you're going to tell them, first thing is for us to build our login page, the username, the password, forget password, and so on and so forth. Or maybe the privacy policy can be there. You're not going to outline what do we need to make the initial thing to happen, which is your product backlog. For that mobile app to come to fruition, you need to have your username, you need to have your password, you need to have your forget password, you need to have your privacy policy embedded in that page. So once you identify all these things, you put it in your product backlog. Then when you now pick one of them, you pick username and push it to sprints. And let's assume your company is working with a 2-week sprint interval. It means that for that straight 2 weeks, everyone is going to be working on the username. We need to make sure that this username comes out. And once that is ongoing, you now classify it as ongoing. If it's done, you push it to done. And that way, you are bringing out other things that's in that product backlog, pushing it to sprint. People are working on it, and then you are pushing it to done, and so on and so forth. So your own job is to understand the Scrum artifacts. What exactly do you need to do? How do you make use of Jira to make sure that this thing comes alive? It's just like if you want to cook jollof rice, first thing you need to do is for you to identify all the ingredients that you want to use to make your rice with, right? And that's your rice, your oil, your water, your pepper, and so on and so forth. And put all of them in your bag. That is like your product backlog. Then first thing first, you put water in the pot. That's you pushing it to sprint. And next, you put your rice in the pot for it to boil. That's you pushing the rice to sprint. And the other, you're bringing another one, pushing it to sprint, and so on and so forth. So this is just a typical representation of what you will be doing. For yours is now to identify what's the acceptable criteria for us to say that this rice is done, which means you have to identify what's the acceptable criteria for you to say this username is completed. And yours is to be checking, have we done this, have we done that? And of course, you also perform other Scrum practice like daily Scrum, that once you come to work every morning, you're asking the team, okay, hi, digital guys, what were you able to do yesterday? What are the impediments that you had? And your job that morning is also to remove the impediments that they had and make sure that they have a free-flowing work activity. So you are going to also be working end-to-end using Jira and Confluence for projects, understand the Kanban boards for workflow management. How do you understand the velocity charts, the burn down and burn up charts to know when your team is underperforming or when they're overperforming? And also as the Scrum coach, you need to understand the leadership aspect of it. Okay, so everything you are going to learn in the Scrum Agile Project Management will equally prepare you to write your professional Scrum Master examination. So the learning timeline for the Scrum program is for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months, and you also intern with us for 1 month working on other real-world projects. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturdays, West African time, and then on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. So of everyone that is in the tech ecosystem, there's one particular group of people that their job is to protect the digital asset that every other person is working with. And that's the cybersecurity analyst, okay? So their role is to protect all the digital assets that the company has from cyber attacks. Okay. And the basic thing you are going to be learning is your foundations of computing and networking. Okay, foundations of computing and networking. Because for you to function fully, you need to understand what is computer, what is CPU, what is mouse, what is IP, what is WAN, what is LAN, and so on and so forth. So we're going to bring you forward from the ground level to the expert level. Okay, after that, you now move to the introduction to cybersecurity, and then, of course, information security principle. What exactly is the principle that cybersecurity is built on? And that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which is your CIA triad. You also learn your offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography basic, cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensic, and of course, cyber security policies and compliance. We're not just going to be learning this theoretically. No. We're going to be using tools like Wireshark for you to understand and analyze threats. You're going to be using tools like Metasploit, understand the Linux operating system, your Bob suite, your VMware. You will set up a virtual box, and that's where you are going to be doing all these things from. So it's a fully hands-on practical class where you're going to learn everything pertaining to cybersecurity. Your learning timeline is for 4 months, after which you will learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and then intern with us for 1 month working on other real-life case studies. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, then the evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. And then on Sundays, you also get your Watch Me Do video to introduce you into deeper concepts. I hope by now you've made your selection of where you want to transition through. I hope by now you've made a selection of where you want to transition through. So no matter what you learn, it doesn't streamline you to that exact area. For instance, if you learn data analytics, you can work as a data analyst, you can work as a BI analyst, that's business intelligence analyst, you can work as a supply chain analyst, you can work as a customer analyst, and so on and so forth. So the exact course you are learning also opens up other career paths for you. For instance, if you learn data science, you're also going to be a big data analyst, you're going to be a computer vision engineer, you're going to be a data scientist, and then, of course, a machine learning engineer. So all these make sure that it's prepares you for the job that you want to take. So when you're applying to job, you're not just looking for jobs under data analyst, you're going to be looking for a sales analyst, a procurement analyst, and so on and so forth. And this is also applicable for all the other courses that we offer. So what exactly separates you from the competition? Okay, we've done this in a 3-layered approach, right, to prepare you to be above everyone else. Remember when I said we have 6 steps for you to transition, which is, first of all, identify your target role, choose a learning partner, and then 3, build project-based learning. The other aspect that talks about employability skills, that is what we've now, broadened up here. Because after you've gotten the initial skill, you need to also be able to build your CV. So these are things that we also give you. We teach you how do you structure your CV to be ATS compliant, all right? So that once you apply to a job, it is going to pass that initial screening stage and bring you forth to the interview table. We also prepare you, how do you optimize your LinkedIn so that recruiters will be reaching out to you. And also, if you want to play in the remote phase, how do you optimize your Upwork for you to be in Nigeria and you're working contractual-wise with a company in UK, you're in UK, you're working contractual-wise for a company in US or Canada, as the case may be. And then after that, you also walk you through how to navigate the job market, where we bring in expert recruiters into the classroom to talk to you about the hidden job markets that can land you that job you're looking for. Then when you also get a job interview invite, we are also available to prepare you for these interviews. Okay, we'll have a simulation, teach you how you use the STAR and SIT framework to answer questions. STAR framework standing for situation, task, achievement, and results. How do you use this exact framework to prepare for interviews? And because while you are studying with us, we are giving you projects that we've gotten from customers, right? We've given you projects that we've received from clients. What we do is that we codify it so that we don't breach the data privacy laws there, right? And that means you can 100% ask us for recommendation and reference letters. So when you get another job and they require a reference from your last employer, we are also available to support you with that exact letters that you need. And that moves you to level 2, which is your weekly mentorship session. So every week, every Thursday like this, right now by 10 p.m., they will be having a mentorship session where we bring in different data analysts. They come into the data analyst class and talk to them about a day in the life of a data analyst. What exactly does it entail for you to fully become a data analyst? And then the on-the-job support that once you get a job, we are also available for you 1 month until you can stand fully on that exact job, which means if you have challenge, you can always come back to us. Hi, 10Alytics, I'm finding it difficult on this job. How can you guys help me? We are available to make sure that we provide you with any necessary support for you to fully function on that exact role. And then the level 3, which is our promise to you, that 1 month after you're done with this exact training, you will definitely land 1 job interview. 1 month after it, you will definitely land 1 job interview. And how do you make this happen? Because we also have a tailored approach for top applicants, which means if you are applying to job, we have what we call the job application tracker. Job application tracker that once you apply to any job, go and upload it there. So what we do is that by the end of the week, we pick the top applicants from each program and work with them directly. So if you want to have the direct working, okay, we'll now look at your CV personally, look at your LinkedIn personally, help you also apply to this job, but you need to be the top applicant in your own cohort, in your own program, for you to be able to get this tailored approach for applicants. So these are things that we do to make sure that you get to land this exact role. How do you exactly learn? So we have 2 learning modules where you are going to be having, you will be enrolled in our learning management platform. So let me quickly log into it. Once you join 10Alytics, you will have access to this platform, which is 10Alytics Learning Management System. And once you join, first thing is to bring you in. Then you have your dashboard that you are going to be learning with. So everything that you have in your class, remember it's going to be a live class. Then after the classes, everything that you've learned will be uploaded to your classroom, which is on this learning management system. And right there, you can have access to the recording of the classes. You can have access to the recording of the Watch Me Do It videos that we have also uploaded for you. And of course, we have the Oluko, which is our 10Alytics AI trainer, which means if you want to perform any activity, it is also here to help you. For instance, I've logged in here, I've told Oluko, my name is Chuemeka, and then Oluko stands for a teacher in Yoruba land. I was told that, right? And then I'm preparing for an interview prep session. So what I did is, it have asked me, okay, I should provide the detailed guide. I should copy the job advert and paste for him. So I just copied the job advert for employability partner with 10Alytics, and I've pasted it here for Oluko. And then what he said is, preparing for an interview for the employability partner role at 10Alytics involves understanding the key so and so thing. What do I need to prepare? I need to first of all understand the company and the role, which means research 10Alytics, its mission, its services, understand the importance of employability. Number 2, review your key responsibilities. 3, highlight relevant experience. So with the help of AI that we've also integrated into our learning management system, you can use it to even query your codes. So if you have a challenge with respect to the code that you are running, you can instantly ask the AI question and it will also be able to assist you. So these are things that we've put into place to make sure that your learning journey is 100% efficient. And that's not just it. You know, all these things always seem impossible until it is done. And that's why we brought in people that have been able to do it before now to talk to you. We also have other success stories, other testimonials that you can also watch to hear what people had to say about us. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you have access to the slide and have access to recording so they can also go through all these things. You will see other success stories of our past students, what they had to say about us, so they can fully be able to understand the aspects. I know someone asked how they can be in Nigeria and get other roles. Someone like Abdrashid resides in Nigeria and landed a full-time role as a data scientist with Child 420 in the US. Initially, Abu Rashid was staying in Ekiti State, but after this, he moved to Abuja, the capital city, and is currently residing there. And this also can be you if you kickstart your own journey today. So what do you need to do for it to get started? Our next cohort is starting next week. That is 3rd of August, 2024. And by virtue of you being on this call, I have an amazing discount for you. So the full course goes for $750, £625, 730 euros, and 1,125 Canadian dollars. But by virtue of you being here, I have 20% discount for the first 20 people that is going to join the programs. Okay. And what this means is that you get to pay $600, or you get to pay £500, or you get to pay 580 euros or 900 Canadian dollars. And you can also leverage the first payment plan, okay? So it means that you can pay instrumentally, make your first payment of $400 to lock down the exact discounted price. So that at the point that you have the full amount, they will not tell you, oh, the discount is over, it's now $450. So we advise you to leverage this, can make $400 to secure your spot, make $350 to £350 to secure your spot, 400 euros to secure your spot, and then 600 Canadian dollars to secure your spot. And then 1 month into the program, you can now make other payments. And how do you make this payment? Once you click on the link that my colleague dropped in the chat box, once you click on it, it's going to bring you to 10Alytics main stack page, okay? So I'm going to try this again. Once you click on that exact link, it will bring you to 10Alytics enrollment page. And when you click on it, what you now have to do at that point is to simply scroll down to where you have the courses that you want to learn. Simply scroll down to the courses that you want to learn and click on that exact course. So simply scroll down to the course that you want to learn and click on it. So I'm bringing up my screen right now. I've rectified the issue. I'm bringing it up now. So once you click on that exact link, it's going to bring you to this main stack page, our 10Alytics Enrollment Center. So it's coming up right now. Okay, it's going to bring you to 10Alytics Payment Center. And what you have to do is simply scroll to the course that you want to learn, and it's going to simply give you access to it. Okay, this is not it. This is not it. So I'm going to clarify this right now. I'm going to clarify this. So simply click on it. Okay, that's it. All right. So once you click on that exact link, you are going to see all the courses that we offer. What you now have to do is to click on the link that you want to register for. So I've clicked on the HR Analytics track. What I now have to do is, because I'm currently in Nigeria, I'm seeing the payments in NGN. So if you're in US, you're going to see the payments in US dollars. If you're in Canada, you're going to see it in CAD. If you're in any of the European countries, you're going to see it in euros. What I need to do now is to simply click on proceed to pay, and I'll just put my name. My name is Chuku Emeka Ekpa. So once I put my name, put my email address, change my phone number to the country I am in, which is Nigeria, and then put the random phone number. Let me go, okay? And then simply click on proceed. So once I do this, it's going to bring out the option for me to check out this payment. All right. So what I have to do is either I make payments using my card at this point by simply putting my card details here, or I'll click on transfer and also make payments using the transfer option by copying the account number here, going to my bank account and pasting it there. So once you've done this, someone from the 10Alytics team is going to reach out to you asking you, hi guy, you've registered, this is your welcome team, this is your welcome package, this is the things that you need to do, and so on and so forth. Okay, so once you've done that, that is simply it. You are ready to start learning. So I don't know if at this point anyone has any question. Please, you can use the raise hand icon and I will ask you to speak, or you can drop it in the chat box and I'll pick it up from there. But remember, this discount is just for the first 20 people to register for any of those courses. Once that slot is fully filled, it goes back to the full amount, which means once you want to make payments, you're not going to be seeing that 960,000 naira there anymore. You'll be seeing possibly 1.2 million naira, which is the proper amount for this exact program. And there's even more, because remember, you are going to be working on project-based learning. We have partnership with Amdari. So Amdari is also a company that provides real-life case study for people to work with, people that are looking to transition into the tech ecosystem. So what you have to do at this stage is simply the first 20 people to join those programs also get 1 month access to Amdari. And that means you have more than 500 real-life case study for you to be working with. And that means you have ample projects to put in your portfolio of things that you've done. So all this always seems impossible, but remember what Vivian and Abigail said in the beginning, that it always seems like it can't be done until you start doing it. So I don't know if anyone has any question for me at this point. You can use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. Use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak. I think someone raised the hand and dropped it again. I can't find you. Please, you need to raise the hand again. Okay, Oluwaseun, I've asked you to unmute. Please speak to us, Oluwaseun. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I'm Oluwaseun Aderele. I joined this program from the UK. And my question is that the problem I have here is because of my work, but that has been clarified that one can join in the evening and all that. But basically, my background is from mathematics. So I like to do that of the data science. I don't know if there's any other further advice for me on which one to go about.
Okay, fantastic. So, fantastic question, Shehu. All right, so what I'll do for you, because for me to understand where you want to transition to, we need to have a conversation, right? So if you've not been able to select an exact place you want to transition through, we'll have what we call the clarity call, where we'll have a one-on-one conversation, you and I, okay? And this holds every Tuesday, all right? So what you're going to do is to make sure you register for that clarity call. But what we always advise is make payments, register for the courses, and then when you're not selecting the course you want to make payments for, just select that you want to speak to an expert, all right?
Okay.
That you want to speak to an expert. So it means that you are going to register to have a one-on-one conversation with us, where we look at your background, the experience you've had over the years, and what you actually want to personally, what also excites you. And from there, we can now give you an advice of where you want to be. I don't know if that makes sense. Off the top of my head, you can't.
It makes sense to me. Yeah, it
Exactly.
makes sense to me. My second question is the link. I'm trying to click on it from the chat box, but it's not going. So I don't know if that can be dropped on the WhatsApp page group community where I was able to join through. I don't know if that is possible, or if it can be sent to our email since we have filled the form while the program is ongoing. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. So I'm going to take down your name so that I'll be sure that you get that exact link. So please confirm that what you filled the attendance is Oluwaseun Aderele, right?
Yes. My email is there.
All right, fantastic. So we'll definitely reach out to you, right? Okay. But I'll also look to make sure that this exact link that I'm dropping, that it is also working, okay?
Okay.
But definitely someone is going to reach out to you regarding that.
There's possibility that I wanted to make payments tonight or tomorrow. So I will need the link, please.
All right, definitely someone will reach out to you before this call is over. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me, someone will do so.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, thank you so much, Oluwaseun.
Thank you so much.
All right, I think I have Johnson's hand raised. Hi, Johnson. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead. Hi, Johnson. Please, I've asked you to unmute. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Johnson.
Okay, my question is boiled down to the payment system. You said the first 20 people will get the discount. Is there no way we can, extend this discount up to the ending of the month? Because I believe most guys here are salary earners who might probably want to pay you at the end of the month, and enjoy the discount as well. Thank you.
Okay, perfect question, Johnson. All right, so don't mute yet so that we can have a conversation, right? So why it is always like that is because the program is starting by this upper weekend, and we need to secure spots. We normally buy a Google Classroom license for people, and for that to happen, we need to know the exact number of people that is coming to class, right? So taking it till the end might be a little bit, a rush work for us in the end, right? But what I would advise you to do, Johnson, is because there is always instrumental payments plan. All right. So you can decide to make the instrumental payments to lock down that exact spot. Okay. Then 1 month into the program, you make the second payment. And if that doesn't work for you, we always have a concession for people that join course like this. So just send an email to finance@10alytics.org. So my colleague is going to drop it in the chat box right now. Finance@10alytics.org. Just send an email to them. Hi, team. I would love to structure my own payment so and so I can secure the spots. Please kindly advise if I can make this payment to secure this spot. That's you talking to them on the amount you want to use to secure that spot. So what it will tell us is that this person actually wants to be there and will now go ahead to secure the spot for you. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's fine for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Johnson. All right, I can see other hand. Okay, this person, your name is iPhone. So I don't know what I'll call you, but I've asked you to unmute iPhone. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. My name is Dami.
Your name is what, sir?
Dami Lola.
All right, Dami Lola, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I actually want to build on what the last speaker said. My thinking is the instrumental payment. Can you, because from what I've seen, it's just 2 installments. We pay a certain amount before now or before the program starts. Then 1 month into the program, we pay the balance, if I'm correct.
Yes, please. Yes.
So what I'm thinking is the first installment, can you bring it down a little bit? Like me, if it comes down a bit, I can even make the payment tomorrow to secure the spot because I'm interested in the program. But the thing is that amount I cannot afford it outrightly. So I'm thinking if you can come down a bit for, maybe salary earner or people who have as much as they can, part with, pending the time when they will get the remaining one. That's my question.
All right. Yeah, fantastic, Damilola. So we can do that. Like I told Johnson. All right. So just look at the chat box. You are going to see an email, the finance@10alytics.org. Okay. So what you need to do for me is send an email to this guy saying, hi, team. I would love to make so amount of payment to secure my spots. Okay. So once you send them that email, they're going to respond to you tonight. So I always advise people to send the email once this call is ongoing. Right, send an email to them saying, hi, my name is Damilola. I was in session tonight and I would love to make so amount of money to secure my spot and then structure it so and so way. And they are the financial analysts. They're going to reach out to you and tell you, hi, Damilola, this is possible. Please kindly go ahead. Right? So why they do that is because they also have their own risk appetite of what they're working with. I think it's maybe like 15 or 10 people that they have that arrangement with every month, which means they will leave it open for 10 people to 15 people. I can't remember the exact number. So make sure you send that email to them tonight so that they can be able to tell you to go ahead and make that exact amount that is not complete to the initial payment. Does that make sense for you now, Damilola?
Yes, very well. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome, Damilola. Okay, I think I have other hands. Hi, Omesiri. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead, Omesiri.
What is it?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, I want to find out how long do we gain access to the dashboard, the 10Alytics dashboard, after the whole classes? Are we going to be to have access to it forever? Since you said we'll be getting the recordings of the courses in that platform, our assignments, and access to the AI what will I call it now?
AI helper, right?
Helper,
AI trainer.
yes. Exactly. So how long do we gain access to this dashboard or platform?
Yeah, you have lifetime access to it. So once you join our classes, you are a constant alumni. Nothing is going to change your alumni status. So that means you have lifetime access to the platform. Okay. So if you want maybe 5 years time, want to go back and watch a concept for it to go back and work, you 100% have access to it, Omesir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So I'll be seeing you next week in class, right? I think you have muted yourself. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to go through the chat box and see if there's any question dropped there for me. But while I'm going through it, please, if you have any question, please use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up. Okay, Sheu is asking for the finance email. Okay, that has been dropped for you. Okay, and it's also in the chat box. Please, the link is not opening. I'm sure my colleagues are working on the links behind the scene right now to make it work. Okay. I'm checking. There's no question for me. So if I'm not part of the class, or you're for me, Okay, or So this is what we all do to make sure that people are doing what they need to do first. Okay, you agree with me that it might be a little bit tedious to be helping someone that do not want to help themselves. Okay, so we're going to teach you. We're going to have a wider class teaching you CV review sessions, teaching you LinkedIn optimization, teaching you Upwork optimization, but for us to be working personally with you, you need to show effort that, okay, you've been in the CV session, you've been in the Upwork session, you've done all these things, and you are applying to jobs. Okay, once you are applying to jobs, we are going to see that effort. And after a week, if we do not see that is applying to jobs and is not getting called back, we're going to have a personal interaction with you. Okay, so this is what we do. But we cannot say, okay, did not apply to any job. There's no how we know that is not getting interview invites because we don't have any evidence that we applied to a job. So once you are showing evidence that you're applying to a job, we definitely will have that one-on-one interaction with you, I hope that makes sense to you. Do you write exam after the end of the course, Samantha? No, you do not write exam, but after the end of any of our courses, you will build your capstone project. So after that project, you will definitely get your certificate. Okay, hi, how can I get mentorship? Okay, Francisca, you're asking how you can get mentorship. So basically, mentorship is open to everyone. So right now, by 10 p.m. right now, people in class now, they're having their mentorship sessions. So today we'll bring in people from different fields to go to that exact class and talk to them relating to their own field. Okay, so you are going to have live interaction with your mentor. Please, can you show us GitHub portfolio for data engineer? Nini. Okay, Nini, please make sure you fill the attendance form. You will get this slide. You can go to all their portfolio and watch the portfolio of anyone you want to see. Okay? Is it possible to get a job in Canada or other countries as a data analyst while in Nigeria? From Nazifi. Fantastic. I showed you Abdrashid, who is currently living in Nigeria and working for Chart 420 in US. So it's 100% possible. Aside the class starting next week, when is next class again? Nengi. Okay, we always have classes that start every first Saturday of the month. All right. But what I will not assure you is the pricing. Because the truth is, people that joined our class last month, they paid, people in Nigeria, they paid 720,000. But if you're in Nigeria now, the conversion rate is going to show you 960. All right. And the discount is not assured for that next month. So what I always advise people to do, Nengi, is you can secure your spot today, but instead of choosing to start next week, while filling that exact form, you are selecting to defer for 1 month. All right. So what this simply means is that we will now be expecting you to start your own class in September. All right. So you can secure your spot now with the existing rates, but instead of starting next month, instead of starting this month, you will be starting next month. I hope that makes sense for you, Nengi. Why do you have 2 months of internship for business analytics? Fantastic, Ola. All right. So for business analytics, they will be working on a web application platform. The last guys, they built a lead management system, right? So, and that lead management system is for a company. So because those kind of projects sometimes is not time bound, that's why we gave DS for 2 months. All right. So within that exact 2 months, you definitely be able to complete your project. Remember, you are not the one that is going to be building it. You are going to be working with the Scrum Master, the APM. You are going to be working with the software developer. So yours involves a team effort, and that is why it's up to that exact team 2 months. How much is the program cost for data analysts? Anthony. So Anthony, my screen is currently showing all the courses and their pricing. So all our courses goes for the same price, $600, £500, 580 euros, and 900 Canadian dollars. Is there any other time or day for people that are not available on Saturday to join this course, but fully available on Sunday? That's from Clovis. So Clovis, the classes are all recorded, which means even if you miss any session, the recorded version of that class will be uploaded to your classroom. So your own convenience time, you can now go through that exact video, okay? And if after watching it, you have question, they have what we call drop-in sessions within the week that the class agree, okay, within the week, we'll have 1 hour to discuss, maybe around 9 p.m. Because we know everyone, most people in our classes, they are all working professionals, okay? So during the week, they just have that 1 hour interaction to ask questions. Okay, I was watching the video, I had this challenge, how do I rectify it? The facilitator is going to walk you through it. And also, you can ask questions in your Google Classroom, you can ask questions in your WhatsApp groups, and the facilitator will also answer to those questions. No payments in Naira. Of course, there's payments in Naira. Please, once you click on the link, you'll see it will bring out your location. If you're in Nigeria, it will give you the option to make payments in Naira. Okay, and I'm sure my colleague will also reach out to you with how you can make that seamless. Please, can you once more go through the payment process before the end of the session from Charles? Okay, Charles, I'm going to go through it. If I'm enrolled, will I be taught how to do this portfolio? Of course, Nazifi, you'll be taught how to do your portfolio because all the projects will be building, you'll be asked to put it in your portfolio. So you'll be taught how to build all those portfolios, all right? You will definitely be taught how to do it. Okay, so, and once you also join the internship, part of the first thing they do is to also walk you through that portfolio processes for you to understand. So one last time, let me go through the payments link. Once you click on that exact link that is posted, it's going to bring you to this place, right? So simply click on, I think my screen stopped displaying. Who stopped my screen from displaying? Hi, host. Host, you currently disabled me from displaying my screen. Hi, Priscilla. If you are there, you currently disabled me from displaying my screen. Okay, so continue what I'm saying. Once you join the program, you'll be taught how you can be able to make this happen. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, my screen is coming back up right now. Just 1 second so that I can walk you through this. I can walk you through this instantly. All right, so it is up. So once you click on that exact link, it's going to bring you to this exact page. So let's assume I want to register for the HR Analytics. What I simply have to do is to click on that HR Analytics track. So once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this exact place. All right, so you see, like I mentioned, because I'm currently in Nigeria, it's showing the payment in NGN. So 960 is the amount. I simply click on proceed to pay. But if I want to make minimum payment and then complete the other payments, I can decide to pay 600, and which is the minimum amount. Then click on proceed to pay, and then to bring me here, I'll simply put my name. So simply put my name, put my email address, change the country to Nigeria, because that is where I am presently, and put a random number, and then proceed. So once you've done this, it will bring the option for you to check out this exact payment, all right? So at this point, I can decide to pay with my card by simply putting my card details, or I can decide to click on transfer. And what I now have to do is to copy the account number here, go to my bank app and make that payment. Simple as that. So no matter the country you are in, it will display the currency of that exact location. Okay, so it's geotagged that it picks your exact location and gives you the conversion rate in that exact place. Okay, so I'm going to check to see if there's any other hand raised. Wow, there are several hands raised. I think I've taken all the. Please, if I've taken your question, please bring down your hand. My heart just skipped now. I've taken Shea, I've taken iPhone, I've taken Omesi, I've taken Johnson. So I think Doris iPhone, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I just want to find out if it's possible for if one wants to change their mind on the already chosen course now, and let's say one chose to start on the 3rd of August, and later change mind due to either family circumstances or something like that, to go for 7th of September. Is that possible?
All right, that is possible actually. But what we do is that if the class starts by 3rd of August, we have a 2 weeks window. If you are maybe the person registered for data analytics and they feel, okay, I don't want to do data analytics anymore, I want to do cyber security, you have 2 weeks to switch. And so with deferment. So if you want to also switch that you want to start in September, we have that 2 weeks window to make it happen. But of course, we are lenient that if there are grievous things that happen, so we've had instances where one of our students lost a family member or things that grievous, of course, we always listen to it. We're open to it, of course. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Very well.
I think, okay.
Then again, is there discount if one, kind of brings more people?
Of course, we have referral discounts for people. We have referral discounts for people, Doris. So, Doris, do you have a lot of people that want to train also?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic. So just can you see my screen? You can see enquiries at 10Alytics.io. So that's what I'm hovering over. And I'm sure my colleague will drop it in the chat box right now, the email, enquiries at 10Alytics.io. So you can also reach out to enquiries and we'll have an arrangement with you, specifically with respect to referring others to join. So of course we have discounts, even our students, because part of the way that we get more people to join the class is through referrals. And any student that we have, they have referral bonus. So once they bring in someone, they'll definitely get a portion of that payment made to them. Does that make sense to you now, Doris?
Very well, thank you.
All right, you are welcome. You filled the attendance form, right?
Yes, actually, I was having difficulty, doing that before, but it's okay now, yeah.
All right, and Doris is your name there?
Yes.
All right, we're also going to look at it and make sure we reach out to you with respect to having the referral discussion, okay?
Okay, thank you, much appreciated, yeah.
All right. So at this point, I don't know if there are any other questions. I've taken Johnson, I've taken Doris. iPhone, I don't know whether this is a new iPhone or the old iPhone that I've taken, but I've asked it to unmute. Please go ahead, iPhone. Hi, iPhone. Okay, I guess that's the old iPhone because they are not saying anything. Okay, let me check if there are any other questions in the chat box from you before we call it a night. If you miss the enrollment date, when is the next one, Samantha? So we start each program every new month. So you're going to have another opportunity in September, first week in September, but the pricing is not assured. All right, Samantha, the pricing is not assured. Remember, right now it's discounted $600. In September, it may not be discounted and the pricing may also change. It all depends on the economic condition. Right? So I always advise people secure your spots now and then you can defer for 1 month, which means instead of you to start this August, you are saying you want to start your own classes in September, it's 100% allowed. Can someone without data analytics idea go for cyber security? 100%, darling team, 100%, okay? Cyber security is a broad place that technically your idea, maybe your idea as a customer service person might be very, very influential to your own transition and that even someone that has data analytics experience. Some people in our cybersecurity class, we also have people that are lawyers transitioning to cybersecurity. So it's all down to you because we will teach you from the entry level, from ground zero up to the expert level to make sure you catch everything that you need to know. Okay, please, if you've not filled the attendance form, make sure that you fill it. Is the certificate internationally recognized, Johnson? Johnson, our certificate is recognized everywhere. We are registered in Canada. We operate a global company. Okay, it is recognized everywhere. But one thing I would love you to know, Johnson, is that in the tech ecosystem, certificates is inconsequential. Let me put it that way. All right, it's inconsequential. It's always competence over certification. So if you have certificates from IBM, certificates from Google, certificates from anywhere you can think of, and someone comes and the person has a portfolio of evidence to show what they have done, the company is not going to say, because Johnson has certificate from Google, let's take Johnson. They're going to look towards the person that has an evidence to show respect to their skill. So any tech hiring that you're going for, there will always be a skill-based assessment. And that's to tell you that they don't even care about the certificates you are bringing. They don't care about even every single thing you are telling them. It's about the skill that you can do. You said you can use Excel. Oh yeah, analyze this data. You say you can do it. You heard when Vivian was speaking, she said that when during her own interview, they gave her a data set to analyze. Okay, and she was able to analyze that. She got the job. So definitely it's not about your certification. Trust me, it's not about your certification. If you are in the maybe in the educational sector, that's where you now need your MSc, PhD, your so and so for you to perform, right? If a company wants to hire, they're not going to say, we need someone with masters in big data. What they can even do is that they need someone that can analyze big data. That's what they're going to ask you for, Johnson. And that's what we always tell people, competence over certification. So how much discount in Naira? The discounted pricing is 960 in Naira. The full amount is 1.2 million. Please, I would like to see the sample portfolio for data engineer, Nini. Nini, please fill the attendance form. You will have access to this slide and you can watch all the portfolios you want to watch, okay? There are several portfolios there that I may not be able to go through. Okay, so please fill the attendance form and this slide will be sent to you. Can I pay in USD from Nigeria? Yes, you can, absolutely. So my colleague have dropped the link, the bank account for you to make payments to. Okay, fantastic. I think I've done justice to all the questions. That is a lot. So thank you so much, guys. I really can't wait to see you all in class come next week. So I always tell people the best time to get into the tech field is yesterday, and the next best time is today. You can see my screen, someone asking, okay, Adeza, my name is this, I'm in this cohort. I just got this offer. They're going to be requesting for reference. Please make sure that you send this reference. And on the right-hand side, you've seen them sending the request in French. And they'll have to find a way to make sure that we send back the recommendation and reference letter to them. And then the next email is, hi, I wanted to update you about the reference you assisted me with. I got an offer from them on Friday and I agreed to it. This is just last month, the 24th of June. So if you go through the slide, you see other success stories for people like Ini Akpabio. Ini joined our class and this is his own testimonial. And what Ini had to say is very, very fantastic because Ini has wealth of experience, but he was not able to put himself together to get that job. So if you read what he said, he went for a managerial interview and he was given a CEO role. Okay, so if you read the place I marked all those arrows, you're going to see, though I have been in the IT industry for more than a decade, and I have done so many projects and training that should have catapulted me above where I am today, I didn't know how to structure myself, that is, optimize my CV for better opportunities. Even with family and friends around me, I still could not show them my worth. And so they could not really help me. Need I say 10Alytics are wonders workers? Though the goal was not to become a CEO, I landed it after the employing team saw my CV and interviewed. Same stuff I've been doing all the while without results. Now the results just came. I couldn't have done it without 10Alytics. So these are the beauty of it. There are people that also already have the skill, but because we don't offer different package, come for the employment services different, we'll make sure we walk you through the skill-based learning to be sure that you have the skill. And then we'll walk you through the employability services, the CV sessions, the LinkedIn sessions, and so on and so forth, to make sure that you can be able to put everything that you've learned together. You can't be the next person. Myself, personally, I joined 10Alytics as the COO, but today I am their CEO. And all this thing boils down to your technical expertise, how you are able to make all these things happen. So if you go through this slide, you are going to also see other success stories of what people have to say. So please ensure you fill the attendance form so that you have access to this slide. Go through it one after the other. Go through YouTube. You are going to see what people have to say because our students always post. Go through LinkedIn. search analytics, you are going to see every single thing that each person that passed through us had to say. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with us till this very moment. On behalf of the founder of 10Alytics, Adeza Suleiman, who's currently on my screen, and he is the technology expert with more than a decade of experience, and also a female Ipro that also has wealth of a serious experience in the data ecosystem. I say a very big thank you for being with us till this very moment, and I can't wait to see each and every one of you come 3rd of August. So please remember, the discount is not for everyone. It's just for the first 20 people to join the classes, and the best time to get into the tech ecosystem is yesterday. The next best time is today. Thank you guys once more. Cheers, everyone, and good night. Bye for now.